Alright, mic testing, mic testing. Okay, perfect. Let me just go to my main camera. Alright, we're live, and as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, did I unmute? Okay, as you guys can tell by the title and thumbnail, I'm going to be working on more game logic in Python. This is currently day 98, 2 more days left to go, so I gotta get as much practice as I can. With that said, let me go to my gameplay screen. Okay, and guys, I feel like my stream's like kind of laggy these days. I'm not streaming on Twitch to just check if it's because I'm multi-streaming. I am streaming on Kick though. That said, everything's a little laggy right now for some reason. Okay, now mine is good. Alright, let me go with the Control A, delete this, and actually open my chats on my tablet and phone real quick. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, and guys, is it just me or the stream is actually kind of laggy? Okay, never mind. It looks. Okay, it is actually laggy. Why is it laggy? Is it because I'm streaming on Kick and YouTube? I mean, say, is it because I'm streaming vertically and horizontally at the same time? Okay, I guess I can think about that later. With that said, let me go to Sensei here and say, Sensei, I'm live again! Exclamation, I'm live. Okay, attention soldiers of Chad, your commander is back on the field. Vivek has returned to face the code, the bugs and his own weakness. Today's failure is not an option. The enemy is lines of Python and we will burn them down until only victory remains. Right here, Vivek, write your code now. No mercy, no distractions. Move. Do you want me to drop a... Okay, I guess I write my code. And honestly, should I like start streaming on Twitch as well? I don't know. I think I'll try streaming. I'll try not streaming on Twitch today and check how my stream goes. With that said, this is going to be exactly the same game. And let me just check if my stream's going good real quick. Okay, why does it say warning stream's current bitrate is 2682 kbps lower than recommended? Guys, what does that mean? Okay, I guess I can check what that means like later. Okay, let me start off by importing Pygame. So I'll go ahead and import Pygame. And then let me initialize Pygame by typing pygame.init. And guys, I did fix my sound effects, so that's going to be pretty good as well. Okay, and then I will be using Pygame's mixer, so let me go ahead and fix that as well. I'll go with pygame.mixer.init. This initializes Pygame's mixer. What else would I need? I might need my display, so let me go ahead and create my display. For my display, I'll need two kinds of variables. A width variable for my display and a height variable for my display. And my display's width is going to be something like 1000 and height is going to be 650. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a screen variable. I'll set my screen variable equal to pygame.display.set_mode. My mode is going to be, let's see, my width variable and my height variable. Okay, perfect. Did I spell width correct? Okay, a tuple of width and height variable. There we go. Alright, next up, let me go ahead and create a caption for my game. So I'll go with pygame.display.set_caption. My caption is going to be something like, I don't know, Calamity 1.1. Okay, and then what else would I need? Let me go ahead and create a few game variables. For example, let me go with a comment first that says game variables. And then I would need a gravity variable because I do want to implement gravity to my game. So I'll create a gravity variable. My gravity is going to be 0.5. Okay, what else would I need? I might need a floor variable as well for where my player is going to be standing. So let me go ahead and create a floor variable. My floor variable is going to be equal to pygame.capitalize rect. My rect is going to be my floor's x-axis, y-axis, width and height. My floor's x-axis is going to be 0. Y-axis is going to be something like, I don't know, 500. Width is going to be my display's width, which is 1000, my window size. And height is going to be around 300. Okay, perfect. Okay, what else would I need? I would have to add FPS. So let me go ahead and create a FPS controller. So I'll create a clock variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.time.capitalize clock. This is going to be my FPS controller. Maybe I'll write a comment that says FPS controller. Okay, and then I'll need a FPS variable as well. So let me go ahead and create a FPS variable. This is honestly optional. We could like manually write the FPS when we're setting our FPS in our main game loop, but I think this keeps it cleaner. Okay, with that said, these are honestly the only game variables I can think of. So what other things would I need? I am going to be using PNGs, so I'll go ahead and load my PNGs in my game. So I'll go ahead and load my images. Okay, so what other images do I have? Firstly, I have a hero image for my player, so let me go ahead and load that. I'll go with hero underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load, and then I'll give the file path of my hero image. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by player 2 more forward slashes my hero PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will convert this to alpha, so I'll go with convert underscore alpha. Okay, and then what all would I need? I might need images for my NPCs as well. For example, I have two kinds of NPCs, a skeleton NPC and a dragon NPC. So let me go ahead and load their PNGs as well. I'll go with skeleton underscore image, also that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path for my skeleton image. So my file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by, let's see, NPCs, 2 more forward slashes, my skeleton PNG. And again, since this is a PNG, I will be converting this to alpha. So let me go ahead and convert this to alpha. Okay, what else would I need? I would need my dragon image as well because I want two kinds of NPCs, a skeleton and a dragon. So I'll go ahead and load my dragon image. I'll set my dragon image variable to be equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path for my dragon image. My dragon image file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by NPCs, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my dragon PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will be converting this to alpha. Okay, perfect. Alright, what else would I need? I would need drops as well that my players collect, like for example coins for my player's score to increase, meats for my player's health bar to increase, and potions for my player to have a buff. I do want to add a buff system as well, so let me go ahead and load my meat underscore image first. This is going to be the drop that my player collects or like eats in order to recover HP. I'll go with pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path for my meat image. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by meals, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my meat PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, let me check if, let me just keep my chats open here. Alright, okay, what else would I need? Next up, let me go ahead and load my coin image. So I'll go with coin underscore image. And what is my coin image? Basically, these are random coin drops on my screen that my player will collect in order to increase his score. So let me give the file path for my coin image as well. I'll go with pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my coin image. So the file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by, this goes under the drop section, followed by 2 more forward slashes, my gold coin PNG. And since this is a PNG, I will convert this to alpha. Okay, and lastly, I do want to add a buff system to my game as well. So let me go ahead and drop buff potions. Basically, what my buff potions are going to be doing is, if my player collects a buff potion, he gets an additional 100 HP above his health bar for 5 seconds. So let me go ahead and add a buff pot underscore image. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path for my buff potion. So it's going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by potions, 2 more forward slashes, my buff potion PNG. Buff potion PNG. Okay, add a pair of quotes there, delete that. Okay, there we go. Alright, and since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha, so convert underscore alpha. Okay, now with that out of the way, these are honestly all the images that I can think of. So I would have to transform and scale my images as well to fit my window size. So I'll go with a comment that says transform and scale. For my transform and scale section, let me go ahead and define a scale function. The reason I'm defining a scale function is because I wouldn't want to scale every single image here one by one manually, so a function would help me with that. So my scale function is going to be having two parameters. The first is going to be image and the second is going to be a factor parameter. The factor is going to be set to 0.1 by default. That's technically 10%. And then let me go ahead and return pygame.transform.scale. Okay, so what do I want to scale here? I want to scale my image, so let me just type image there, and the size is going to be in a tuple. Maybe I'll go in the next line so like you guys can see it, and then I'll go with integer. Now I'm going to be getting the width of my height and multiplying it by my factor, and then I'll get the height of my image, and then I'll multiply that by my factor as well. So my image dot get underscore width, I'll get the width of my image and multiply that by my factor, add a comma, and then do the same thing for my height. I'll go with integer, my image parameter dot get underscore height, I'll get the height of my parameter, and then I'll multiply that by my factor. Alright, perfect. Okay, that's basically it for my scaling function. Now let me go ahead and scale my images. So I'll copy my hero image variable. I'll reassign that to be equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my hero underscore image. I'll do the same thing for my skeleton image. I'll copy that. I'll reassign my skeleton image to be equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my skeleton image. The same thing for my dragon image. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my dragon image. I've never made a game in Python, so I don't know what is considered best practice, but I know programming you should make a function to shorten your image, and alpha conversation functionally could make a function that takes the image path as parameter, but the function loads the image converts to alpha. Honestly, actually, yeah, that does make sense. I might actually try that later. Okay, and then let me go ahead and scale my meats, coins, and buff potions as well. So let me go with meat underscore image, also that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my meat image. Okay, and now my meat image, I don't want the factor to be 0.1 because then it would be the exact same size as my hero, skeleton, and dragon. I want it to be relatively smaller than my hero, skeleton, and dragon, so I'll set the factor to be 0.05. And then I'll do the same thing for my coin underscore image. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my coin underscore image, and the factor will be 0.05 as well. The same as my meat image. And lastly, I'll do that for my buff pod image as well. So I'll go with buff pod image, set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my buff pod image, and the size is going to be 0.05. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for scaling my images. Next up, what else would I need? I do want to add sound effects to my game, so I might load my sound effects as well, but I won't load them just yet. I'll load them in a bit. I'm just adding the comments, and then I would have to set volumes for my sound effects as well. So let me go ahead and add a comment that says set volume for SFX. And then maybe I might even add channels. Basically what channels does is it plays your sound effects on an exclusive channel. For example, if my player wins a game and I want to play a win sound, all the other sounds in the background won't be included inside of my win sound channel. That's going to be an exclusive channel of its own. So I'll create a channel for SFX. Alright, perfect. Okay, and then I would need my win screen details. If my player wins, I want to display a certain screen. So let me go with win screen. Okay, for my win screen, I'm going to go ahead and create a variable called win underscore screen underscore UI. Hi, Isaac Dev, I appreciate you joining the stream. Okay, win screen UI is going to be equal to, I'll give the file path of my win screen UI. So the file path is going to be pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my win screen. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by screens, 2 more forward slashes, my win screen PNG. And since I won't be using this as a PNG and this is going to be covering my entire display, I won't convert it to alpha. Instead, I will just convert it. Okay, and then let me go ahead and transform my image. So I'll go with win underscore screen underscore UI. I'll set that equal to pygame.transform.scale. I want to scale my, I usually spell transform wrong the first time. Okay, I want to transform slash scale my windscreen UI. The size is going to be in a tuple. The size will be my display's width and my display's height. Okay, perfect. And then I might add a win text font as well. So basically, if my player wins, I want to show a text in the screen that says "You won. Press R to play again." So let me go ahead and add that. I'll go with win text underscore font. I'll set that equal to pygame.transform. My bad, guys. Pygame.lowercase font dot capitalized font. Okay, my font type will be none. That's basically Pygame's default font, and the size is going to be something like 50. Okay, perfect. Let me do the same thing for my lose screen as well, because if my player loses, I want to show a specific screen as well. So I'll go with lose screen. For my lose screen, I'll create a variable called lose screen underscore UI. I'll set that equal to pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. What grade are you in? Honestly, I just joined college like 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's a lot of stress for college. Okay, that aside, I'll give the file path of my lose screen UI. So it's going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by screens, 2 more forward slashes. This is going to be my lose screen PNG. And again, since I won't be using this as a PNG, I will just convert it. I won't convert it to alpha and maybe just zoom in so you guys can see everything I wrote. Okay, and then let me go ahead and transform my image. So I'll go with my lose screen UI. I'll set that equal to pygame.transform.scale. I want to transform slash scale my lose screen UI. The size is going to be in a tuple of my display's width, so my width variable, and my height variable. Okay, perfect. And then if my player loses, I do want to show another text that says "You lost, press R to restart." So let me go ahead and add a font for that. I'll create a variable called lose underscore text underscore font. I'll set that equal to pygame.lowercase font dot capitalized font. My font type is going to be none. That's basically Pygame's default font, and the size is going to be the same as my windscreen's font, 50. Okay, perfect. With that said, these are basically all the comments or like the variables that I can think of right now. So let me start creating classes now. The first class that I'm going to be creating is going to be the game class. The reason I am creating a game class is because I do want to add like a reset function to the game. So when my player wins or loses and he clicks R, the game resets. So all my reset variable is going to be inside of my game class. Okay, so I'm going to be defining a dungeon init constructor method. My dungeon init constructor method won't have any parameters, although I will have instance variables. Let's see. So the first instance variable that I could think of, maybe I'll go ahead and add a comment that says game state. Basically, game state means did I win the game, did I lose the game? So let me go with a self.game underscore 1. I'll set that equal to false because I haven't won a game yet. Let me go ahead and add one for self.game underscore lost. I'll set that equal to false as well because I haven't lost a game yet. And then what else would I need? I might need collision detection or like collision flags as well to check if my player collided with an NPC. So let me go ahead and add a variable for collision flag. Okay, what all NPCs do I have? I have a skeleton NPC and a dragon NPC. So let me go with self.skeleton underscore collision. I'll set that equal to false since I haven't collided with my skeleton yet. And then I'll go with self.dragon underscore collision. I'll set that equal to false as well since I haven't collided with my dragon yet. Okay, what other variables would I need? I might need a score details section, so score details to check if my player scored yet or not. Let me go ahead and create a self.score variable. I'll set that equal to 0 because my player, I want my player to start with 0 score. Let me go with a self.scored boolean instance variable as well. Also that equal to false because I don't know. I mean, because my player hasn't scored yet. Okay, honestly, that's all the instance variables I can think of right now. So let me go ahead and create a game object. I'll set my game object to be equal to my game class. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and create a few parent classes. What are parent classes would I need? I would need a move parent class and a game objects parent class. The reason I would need a move parent class is because all my players or almost every like all my NPCs slash players will have a move method, x-axis velocity, y-axis velocity. So it would be easier if I added a parent class for it. Okay, my parent class or my move class is going to be having a dungeon init constructor. with two parameters. The first parameter is going to be x-axis underscore velocity. The second parameter is going to be y-axis underscore velocity. Then let me create a few instance variables. Like for example, self.x-axis underscore velocity equals to x-axis underscore velocity, and self.y-axis underscore velocity equals to y-axis underscore velocity. That's basically it for my move class. Next up, let me go ahead and create an game object class. The reason I am creating a game objects class is because almost everything in my game, all my images, my players and everything would need images, recs and masks. Basically, image is my player's image, technically any of my PNG's image. Recs is their position, where are they going to be moving, and masks, the reason I am creating masks is because I am going to be using pixel perfect collision. So let me go ahead and create a class for my game object. Okay, and my game objects class is going to be inheriting from my move class. So basically my move is a grandparent class and my game objects class is a parent class. Let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. Okay, my dungeon init constructor will have the parameters of my move class plus its own parameters. So I would need x-axis underscore velocity. I could set that to something like 0 for now. Y-axis underscore velocity, I could set that equal to 0 as well. And then let me add an image here. Image is going to be a arg/argument. Rest all is going to be keyword. I would need a position as well. I'll set my position to be let's say 0, 0 for now. Okay, perfect. Maybe I zoom in a little so you guys can see. And then I'll create a super dungeon init, or I'll type a super parentheses dot dungeon init. Okay, and now inside of my super dungeon init, I need to add all the parameters from the class that I'm inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from my move class, I add the two parameters of my move class inside of my super dungeon init. My move class's x-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my game objects class's x-axis underscore velocity, which is set to 0. My move class's y-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my game object class's y-axis underscore velocity, which is going to be equal to 0 as well. Okay, perfect. And then let me go ahead and create a few instance variables. First instance variable could be for my image, self.image equals to my image parameter, and then one for recs, self.rect equals to my self.image.the get underscore rect function, and the position is going to be top left, which is going to be equal to my position parameter here, which is set to 0. Do you have GitHub? Honestly, yeah, I do have GitHub, although I didn't have enough time to learn how to use GitHub. It is in my YouTube's bio. That aside, let me go ahead and create a mask. I'll set that equal to pygame.mask.the from underscore surface function, and my surface is going to be my self.image parameter. Okay, perfect. That's basically all the instance variables I need, although let me go ahead and create a few methods as well. So what all methods would I need? I would need a automate method. The reason I am creating an automate method is since all my NPCs are going to be automated / moving on their own. Okay, my automate method won't have any parameters to it, although it will have, let's see, my self.rect.x-axis. My object's x-axis is going to decrease by my self.x-axis underscore velocity, by my x-axis underscore velocity. Currently is set to 0, but when I create my object classes, like my specific classes for my NPCs, I will change these to be like 5 pixels per frame. Okay, and then I might need a draw method as well. So let me go ahead and create a draw method. Do you have OF? Here, also program in Python. Okay, honestly, yeah, it is. Like, I just realized Python programming is kind of fun. It did take me a while to get a hang of it, but I think I'm getting a hang of it now. Okay, that aside, my draw method is going to be having a surface parameter, which is going to be set to screen by default. Then let me go ahead and add a surface.blitz. Okay, what do I want to blitz? I want to blitz my self.image, my object's image, and self.rect, my object's rect. Okay, I don't have it. Okay, with that said, these are the only parameters that I would need. I mean, the only methods that I would need. Now let me go ahead and create my actual classes. So, the first class that I might need could be my hero class. And my hero class is going to be inheriting from my game objects class. Okay. Alright, and then let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. Okay, my dungeon constructor is going to be having a few parameters. What parameters would my hero class need? My hero class could need a x-axis underscore velocity parameter, also that 5 pixels per frame. A y-axis underscore velocity parameter, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame as well. Okay, and then I'll need a image parameter. My image is going to be my hero underscore image. And then what else would I need? My hero would need a position where my hero is going to be located at. That could be equal to, let's see, about 100 by 300. Okay, honestly, I think 300 by 100 would be good. Okay, I guess 100 by 300 is good. Okay, and guys, you guys could play with the positions to check which is the perfect position or which position you guys prefer. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and create a super.dungeon init. Now, inside of my super dungeon init, I'm going to be adding all the parameters from the classes that I'm inheriting from. Since I'm inheriting from the game objects class, I'm going to be adding all the parameters from my game objects class. My game objects class has a x-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to my hero's x-axis underscore velocity. My object class has a y-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to my hero's y-axis underscore velocity. My object class has a image, also that equal to my hero's image. My object class has a position, also that equal to my hero class's position. It's literally the most simplest language to read and write, and it is Pygame. Honestly, yeah, Python is actually pretty easy. I'm glad that this was like my first language that I chose to learn. Okay, with that said, my hero object might need another parameter called jump strength. The reason I am adding a jump strength is because I want my hero to be able to jump as well. I'm kind of thinking to add a Flappy Bird system. My jump strength could be equal to -4 pixels per frame. Can you make a game script, please? Honestly, yeah, you guys can like join my Discord server, and once I'm done with this live, I can like upload my game script on the Python chat there. Okay, with that said, let me create an instance variable for my jump underscore strength. I'll set that equal to my jump underscore strength parameter. How many years of experience do you have? Honestly, I have exactly 98 days of experience. I started my Python's 100 days series 98 days ago when I didn't have like any experience whatsoever in Python. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and define a few methods. The first method that my hero object might need could be a move method because I do want my hero to move, and I will have a parameter of keys to it. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and let's see, add a few if statements. If my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to be doing something. I'll increase my hero's x-axis position by my x-axis underscore velocity. So let me go with self.rect.x-axis. I'll increase that by my self.x-axis underscore velocity, which is 5 pixels per frame. Let me go ahead and do that with my left side as well. If my keys at index of pygame.k, pygame.k is left. If my left key is pressed, I will decrease my self.rect.x-axis by my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and lastly, let me add one for my hero's jump as well, or my jump strength. I'll go if my keys at index of pygame.k is space. If my spacebar is clicked, I will set myself or my hero's y-axis underscore velocity to be equal to my hero's jump strength, which is -4 pixels. So self.y-axis underscore velocity equals to self.jump strength. What this basically does is whenever my hero hits a space bar, he's going to be going upwards 4 pixels per frame. Now, one is script for a famous game. Okay. That aside, what other methods would my hero need? My hero might need a apply gravity method as well. So whenever I hit my space bar, when my player gets pushed upwards, a gravity pulls him down as well. So let me go ahead and define a gravity method. My gravity method won't be having any parameters, although I would need, let's see, I will be increasing my hero's y-axis underscore velocity by my gravity variable, which is initially set to 0.5. So self.y-axis underscore velocity, I'll increase that by my gravity variable. Basically, what this does is it pulls my player downwards, and then I will increase my self.rect.y-axis, my hero's y-axis position, by my self.y-axis underscore velocity. So this basically simulates gravity. My hero is going to be pulling down, if that made any sense. Although he's going to be falling downwards forever, I would need to add a landing for where my hero is going to be landing on. So let me go ahead and add a comment that says landing. Okay, for my landing, let me add a if statement. If my self.rect.bottom, if my hero's bottom is greater than or equal to my floor.y-axis, my floor's y-axis, I did create like a floor variable. So my floor's y-axis, I'll set my self.rect.bottom to be equal to my floor.y-axis. What this basically means is if my hero's bottom is above or at the same level of my floor's y-axis, means my floor surface, he won't go any lower. Okay, and then let me reset my self.y-axis underscore velocity to be equal to 0. So if my player hits jump again, he jumps back up and lands back to the floor. Okay. I would need a draw method as well for my hero since I want to draw my hero on the screen, but the reason I won't be creating a draw method is because my game objects parent class already has a draw method here. Okay, with that said, this is basically it for my hero class. I might define a trap method as well. Okay, let me go ahead and trap my player here under my move method. So basically the reason I'm trapping my player is my player would be able to move around the screen or move around the window, but he would exit the window as well. I want to stop him before he leaves the window. So I'll go with something like trap player in window. Okay, to trap my player in window, firstly, I'll get my self.rect.x-axis, my hero's x-axis. I'll set that equal to max. Max is going to be 0. My player can go beyond 0. He can go to negative positions of the screen. And then I'll go with self.rect.x-axis, my hero's current x-axis, 1000, my window's vertical width size, minus my self.rect.width, minus my hero's width. Okay, let me do the same thing for my y-axis as well. Excuse me guys, my y-axis as well. So self.rect.y-axis is going to be equal to max. Max is going to be 0. Okay, and then I'll go with my self.rect.y-axis, my hero's current y-axis, minus 650, my vertical window size. Okay, actually, comma 650, minus my hero's height, self.rect.height. Okay, this basically traps my hero on the screen. Okay. Next up, let me go ahead and create a class for my skeleton. So I'll go ahead and create a class for my skeleton. Okay, and my skeleton class is going to be inheriting from my game objects class. Okay, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor for my skeleton class. The parameters that my skeleton class is going to be having is going to be x-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame, a y-axis underscore velocity parameter, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame as well, a image parameter, also that equal to my skeleton image. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see. And then a position parameter for where my skeleton is going to be located at. That's going to be somewhere around 500 by 300. Okay. Alright, so let me go ahead and create a super dungeon init as well. So super parentheses dot dungeon init. The reason I am creating a super dungeon init is because I am inheriting, and the parameters that goes inside my super dungeon init is going to be all the parameters inside of my game objects class. My game objects class has a x-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to my x-axis underscore velocity. My object class has a y-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to my y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, my object class, my game object class has an image parameter, also that equal to my image parameter. My objects class has a position, also that equal to my position. And honestly, that's basically it. My skeleton class won't be having any other methods or anything. The only method my skeleton class would need is a move method or a automate method that my objects class already has, and even a draw method. Okay, so that's basically it for my skeleton class. Let me go ahead and create a class for my dragon object as well. My dragon object will be inheriting from my game objects class as well. And if I like didn't create a game objects class, I would have to add all these methods manually, like a automate method and a draw method. Okay, so for my dragon class, let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor is going to be having a few parameters. So a x-axis underscore velocity. My dragon's x-axis velocity could be 6 pixels per frame, a bit more than my player's x-axis underscore velocity. a y-axis underscore velocity, I'll set that equal to 6 pixels per frame again. A image parameter, I could set that equal to my dragon image. A position parameter, I could set that equal to, let's see. So my skeleton position is 500, the x-axis is 500, the y-axis is 300. I want my x-axis, actually I want my y-axis to be a bit higher, so I could go with something like 500 by 100. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a super pair of parentheses dot dunder in it. Okay, my super dunder will have all the parameters of my game objects class. My game object class has a x-axis underscore velocity. Also that equal to my dragon class's x-axis underscore velocity, a y-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to my dragon class's y-axis underscore velocity, a image, also that equal to my dragon class's image, lastly a position, also that equal to my dragon class's position. Okay, and that's pretty much it for my dragon class as well. I don't want to add any specific methods or attributes to my dragon class because I have all the attributes that I would need for my dragon class is inside of my game objects class. Now with that said, let me go ahead and create another class. This time I'm going to be creating a class for my game drops. For example, my gold coin drops, my potion drops, my meat drops. Okay, so I'll create a class for drops, and my drops class will inherit from my game object class as well. The reason it is inheriting is because I would need images, recs, and masks. Let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. Okay, now what all parameters would my game objects class need, or my drops class need? My bad, guys. My drops class. My drops class would need a image parameter. What image could it be? And a position parameter. Honestly, I'll set my position parameter to be none right now because I don't want to set a specific location for my drops to spawn. I want them to spawn randomly. And since we're talking about random stuff, let me go ahead and import the random module. Okay, now I can work with randomness. So let me go ahead and go down to the bye. Honestly, I appreciate you joining this stream, Sylviana. Guess I'll see you in the next stream. And guys, I apologize if I can't sometimes read the chats because I don't have like the chats open here. Okay, there we go. Because like my phone screen, my display is like really small for me to actually see the chats until I like don't physically turn and see. Okay, with that said, now let me check. Let me set my position, which is currently set to none, to be a random position. The way I'm going to be doing that is by adding a if statement. If my position is none, which my position is currently set to none, I'm going to be reassigning my position to be equal to a tuple of random.randint. My position is going to be something like 50, comma, my display's width minus 50. So with this, my position, my drops is going to spawn anywhere randomly in my x-axis, although I do want to do it for my y-axis as well. So outside this, I'll go with a comma and add another random.randint. Okay, my position is going to be 50, comma. This time, instead of going with height, I am going to be going with my floor's y-axis. The reason I'm not going with height is because if I went with height, my drops would spawn under my floor as well, where my player can't reach because my player stops at the floor. If I go with floor dot y-axis minus 50, my drops are going to be spawning 50 pixels above my floor's y-axis. Okay, and then outside my if statement, let me go ahead and add a super pair of parentheses dot dunder init. And now my super dunder init is going to be having all the parameters from my game objects class. My game object class has an image parameter that is going to be equal to my drop class's image. My objects class does have a position parameter, which is going to be equal to my image class's position parameter, which is randomized. And then my let's see, I would need an x-axis underscore velocity. I'll set that equal to 0 because I don't want my drops to move. Lastly, a y-axis underscore velocity. I'll set that equal to 0 as well because I don't want my drops to move. Okay, with that said, this is basically it for my drops class as well. I would need to create a class for my health bar as well because I do want to implement a health bar system that every time my player collides with a NPC, my player's health bar decreases. So let me go ahead and create a health bar class. Alright, I gotta sleep. Read what I sent once you're looking when you're looking back to the chats here. Honestly, I appreciate you joining this stream like this. After the stream, I'll definitely go through like all the chats, and in case I missed something, you guys can like join my Discord server and like mention me there and like tell me. Okay, with that said, I'll create another class for my health bar. my health bar class is going to be, actually my health bar class won't inherit from my game objects class. The reason I don't want it to inherit from my game objects class is because I want to add a separate unique draw method for my health bar class, so my health bar is always above my player even if my player is moving across the screen. So let me start off by defining a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor is going to be having a parameter. This time I'll just have one parameter of max underscore HP. Okay, this is my health bars class, so I wouldn't need velocities or anything. My max HP is going to be set to 100 by default because I want my max HP to be 100. Then let me create a few instance variables like self.current underscore HP. How much current HP does my health bar have? I'll set that equal to my max HP parameter because I want my player to start with 100 HP. Could go with a self.max underscore HP. I'll set that equal to my max HP parameter as well. My max HP is 100. Honestly, what else would I need? I would need to load my health bar PNGs as well because I did draw specific PNGs for my health bar as well. So let me go ahead and load those. So this could be something like self.hp underscore path. This is going to be the file path of my health bars. And since I have multiple PNGs just for my health bar, I am going to be creating a dictionary. Okay, in the dictionary, my 0 HP health bars file path, let me load that. So I'll go with pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path of my 0 HP PNG. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by health bar, 2 more forward slashes. Maybe I zoom out a little so you guys can see. Okay, this is going to be my 0 HP health bar. Then I'll add a comma and do the same for all my other health bars. And just to save time, I will just copy this and paste it like 5 times. That's 20 HP, 40 HP, 60 HP, 80 HP, and 100 HP. Okay, remove the comma from there. And now I'll just change the 0 to 20, 0 to 20. Let me change that 0 to 40, change that 0 to 40, change this 0 to 60, change that 0 to 60. Change this 0 to 80, change that 0 to 80. Lastly, change this 0 to 100 and that 0 to 100. Okay, perfect. Now that I loaded all my images, I do have to scale all my images. So I could use a for loop to get access to all the individual file paths here and then use my scale function that I've previously created to scale my images. So let me go ahead and add a for loop. For every key in my, let's say, self.hp path, okay, I'll go with my self.hp path at index of key. This basically gives me every individual key from my self.hp path's dictionary. I'll set that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale my self.hp path at index of key. And this basically scales all my file paths here. Alright, next up, would I need any methods for my health bar? I think I might need a take damage method so my health bar could take a damage. I might need a heal method as well so my health bar could heal every time my player eats a meat. So let me go ahead and add a damage method first. Show us the game. Honestly, I can't show the game right now because like, let me just go with define. Actually, I'll define later because I didn't add my game loop yet. So if I like run the game, it's just going to be like, it won't show anything. It's just going to like show a blank screen because I need to add my game loops, then draw my images under my graphics section, add my game objects. It is going to take me about 30 more minutes to like actually start the game loop progress. Okay, with that said, let me go ahead and define a take underscore damage method. Okay, my take damage method will have a parameter of amount to it. Okay, okay, and then let me go ahead and reassign my player's current HP. So I can go with self.current underscore HP. I'll set that equal to invoke. Actually, I'll set that equal to max. Max is going to be 0. My player's HP can go below 0. My player can have negative HP. Then self.current HP minus my amount. Okay, that's basically it for my take damage method. Let me go ahead and define another method for my heal. My heal method is going to be having a parameter of damage as well. It's honestly going to be exactly the same as my take damage. I'm going to be reassigning my self.current HP, my player's current HP, to be equal to, this time I'll go with min. Min is going to be 100. I don't want my player's HP to go above 100. I'll go with self.current HP. My player's current HP is going to increase by my amount. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my heal method as well. Alright, next up, lastly, let me go ahead and create a specific draw method for my health bar. Okay, my draw method is going to be having two parameters. The first is going to be my surface parameter. My surface parameter is going to be equal to screen by default, and then a hero underscore rect parameter. I'll honestly set that equal to none. The reason I added hero underscore rect is because I want to specify above who do I want that health bar to be. If it's above my hero, so my hero is having if this none is going to be hero when I like draw my image, the health bar will be drawn above my hero's PNG and move where my hero goes. Okay, if that made any sense. Okay, and then I would have to iterate over my self.hp path again. So let me go with let me actually create a variable called hp underscore key. I'll set that equal to max and add a conditional expression. The reason I am iterating over my dictionary of my health bar again is because when my if for example my hero's HP is like 40, so it's gonna show this PNG on the screen. If my hero's HP is 100, it's gonna show this value in the screen, if that made any sense, guys. So I'll go with a for loop. For every key in my self dot max in my self dot HP path, okay, I'll go with a if statement. If my key is less than or equal to my self dot current HP, I'm gonna go ahead and return my key. Okay, so basically what this means is first I iterate over my self.hp path, I get all the individual values of my keys, and if my key, these are basically keys and these are values. If my key is less than or equal to my self.current HP, my player's current HP is set to 100. So if my key is less than, this should be greater than. Okay, if my key, honestly, I feel like less than would make more sense. Okay, if my key is either less than or equal to my self.current HP, which is currently 100, it's going to show this file path. Let's say my player took some damage and now his HP is like 80. Then it's going to show this, if that made any sense, guys. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create a image variable. I'll set that equal to my self.hp path at index of key. So now this image variable is going to be consisting of the self.hp path at index of HP key. Okay, so now this image is going to be consisting of this conditional expression as well, which changes depending on my player's health. That was a lot. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create an x-axis. So my x-axis is going to be equal to my hero center minus my images center. So for getting my hero center, let me go ahead and create an object for my hero. I'll go with game object. Okay, the reason I am creating my game objects inside of my game class is because eventually once my player wins or loses, when he hits R, I want to reset the game, which means I want to reset all my heroes' positions, all my enemies or NPCs' position to be where they started with. So it's going to be easier here. Let me create a hero object. I'll set that equal to my hero class. Okay, perfect. This is going to be self.hero. So this is going to be an instance variable. Okay, and now for my x-axis, I'll go with my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect my hero's rectangles center x. This basically gets me the center of my hero. I'll subtract that by my image dot get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image, and then I'm gonna divided by 2. Basically what divided by 2 means, this is called a floor division when we use two slashes. If we used one division slash the slash sign, we could get an integer, but if we use two division signs or two slashes, we're going to be getting a floating point number. Actually, never mind, guys, I said that opposite. Having one decimal sign here is going to give us a floating point number. Having two decimal slashes here is going to give us a integer. Okay, now for y-axis, I'll do the same thing. I'll go with game.hero.rect my hero's rect stop. Okay, I'm going to subtract my hero's rect stop. The reason I went with top is because I want the health bar to be above my hero's head. If I instead went with my hero's bottom, the health bar would be drawn on my hero's legs, if that made any sense. I'll go with image.get underscore height. I'll get the height of my image and I'll subtract that by -80. Okay, why did I go with like -80 here? Basically, -80 is like a visual stuff. You guys can play along with it. My PNG, if I subtract it by -80, the health bar will be drawn right exactly above my hero's head. But if I went with like +100, it would be drawn way above my hero's head. If I went with -100, it would be drawn way below my hero's legs. Okay, now with that out of the way, let me go ahead and add a surface.blit. I want to blit my image. The position is going to be in a tuple. The position will be in a tuple of my x-axis and y-axis. And that's basically it for my health class. Let me honestly show you guys the progress right now. So let me go ahead and add a comment that says game loop. I'm going to be creating my game loop here. For my game loop, I'll create a is_running boolean variable. I'll set that equal to true. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a while is_running. So a while loop. While is_running basically means while my is running is set to true, or while my program is running, I'm going to be creating a keys variable. I'll set that equal to pygame.key.get_pressed. The pygame.key.get_pressed basically means it checks if any of my keys are getting pressed on my keyboard, and on my player's class here, I specified what to do if a certain key is pressed. For example, if my right key is pressed, I increase my hero's x-axis by my x-axis inertial velocity. Okay, and then let me go ahead and iterate over all my Pygame events. Let me add an event loop. Without the event loop, I wouldn't be able to close my display. So let me iterate over all my Pygame events. I'll go with for every event in my Pygame, for every event in my Pygame.event. .get. This basically gets all my Pygame events, but I'm looking for a specific type of event. So let me clarify that. If my events type is equal to Pygame dot all uppercase quit, I'll set my is_running boolean variable to be equal to false. Okay, that's basically it for my window. Okay, and then outside my for loop, let me go ahead and add FPS. So I'll go with my clock variable dot tick. This is going to be my FPS variable, which is set to 60. Maybe I'll add a comment that says FPS as well. And then let me actually update my display as well, because we wouldn't be able to see anything without updating our display. I'll go with pygame.display.flip. Pygame.display.flip basically updates the display, although pygame.display.update would work exactly the same. Let me go with a pygame.quit. This exits pygame, although the Python program will still be running. So let me go ahead and import the sys module. Basically, I don't know much about the sys module. The only thing I know is the sys module.the_exit function. This basically exits Python as well. Okay, now if I run the command, we'll see like a black screen. There we go. Although I can exit the black screen, my caption is set to Calamity 1.1. Let me go ahead and add my graphics now to my game. So maybe outside my for loop right here, I could add a comment that says game objects. This is where I'm going to be adding my game objects. So the first object is going to be my game object dot my hero object, which is inside of my game object dot the move method. This is going to move my player, and the parameter is going to be my keys parameter. Okay. And then let me go ahead and create a few more objects for my NPCs as well. So let me create a self.skeleton object. I'll set that equal to, let me just fix my skeleton typo. I'll set that equal to my skeleton class. And then I'll go with a self.dragon object. I'll set that equal to my dragon class. Okay, maybe I'll go with my health bar as well. So I'll go with self.health_bar object. I'll set that equal to my health bar class. Okay, now let me go ahead and add a automate method for my skeleton object as well. So I'll go with my game object dot my skeleton object, which is inside of my game object dot the automate method. Yo bro, are you in college? Honestly, yeah, I joined college like 2 weeks ago. It's been really stressful. That's why I couldn't like focus much more coding, because before I used to like code for like 10 hours a day, but then recently from these past 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been coding while I stream. Okay, that aside, let me go ahead and add one game.dragon.automate. This is going to automate my dragon object. Okay. Okay, this is basically it for my game objects. Let me go ahead and add graphics as well. Okay, this is going to be where I'm going to be drawing my games. So I can go with my game object dot my hero object dot the draw method. This is going to draw my hero. Let me go with game object dot my draw method. This is going to be game.skeleton object, which is inside of my game object. dot the draw method, and lastly a game object dot my dragon object, which is inside of my game object dot the draw method. Okay, honestly, I do have to draw my health bar as well, so let me go with my game object dot my health bar object, which is inside of my game object dot draw, and then let me go ahead and draw my floor. So I'll go with pygame dot draw dot rect. My floor is a rectangle. The surface is going to be screen. My floor's color is going to be in a tuple, and the attributes is going to be of my floor variable. And honestly, I forgot the RGB code for my floor, so let me just go to maybe a reference code here where I like actually wrote my RGB colors. I could like go online and find a RGB pickers website, but then that would take some time. Okay, let me paste that here, and then I'll go with a screen.fill as well. Maybe under my keys, screen.fill. I want to fill my screen to be a good blue color. And again, since I don't remember the RGB colors memorized, let me just go to a code and copy my screen.fill. This is going to be a good blue color. Okay, perfect. If I were to now run the command, there we go. My NPCs are going. Okay, I need to add a loop for my NPCs as well. So under my game objects class, after my automate, let me go ahead and add a comment that says loop. So now let me loop my NPCs. I'll go with the if statement. If my self.rect.x-axis, if my object's x-axis is less than 0 or less than or equal to 0, if my object reaches to the left side or like the right side of my window, I'll reset my self.rect.x-axis to be equal to 850. What this basically means is if my player exits from here, they spawn back from there. Okay, let me go ahead and run the command. Okay, now if my NPCs exit, okay, and guys, this looks like a little glitchy right now and everything because they're not completed at the bottom and everything. That was just for visuals. We could like fix that later. Okay, that said, I could like work on that right now as well. I can just change this to 100 and this to something like 900. Okay, now if I run the command, they're gonna exit from there. Okay, there we go. Okay, maybe I change that to 150. Okay, and this to... Okay, this should be perfect. My dragon exits completely, they spawn. Okay, perfect. Why is my skeleton too high though? Let me go ahead and change my skeleton's position. So I go to my skeleton class here, and my y-axis, instead of keeping it 300, keep it something like 405. So it's going to be a bit more to the ground. There we go. And I want my dragon to be a little higher, so I could change my dragon's y-axis to be something like 50. There we go. Now my hero can sky camp. Okay, why didn't my hero draw? Let's see. Let me go all the way down to my draws. I went with game dot my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot draw. Okay, let's see. Why didn't my hero draw? If I go under my hero class, okay, my hero's position is set to 100 by 300. Let me change that to be 300. Maybe I zoom out so you guys can see. 300 by 100. Okay, let's see. Let me change that to 100 by 300. What's my skeleton's skeleton's position? Okay, it's 500. That's 300. Okay, why could it be that my hero is not being seen on my screen? Hero self.jump strength equals to jump strength. Okay, trap player. Okay, it could be because my player spawned and like I trapped him. So let's see. Self.rect.y-axis equals to max there. That part's correct. Gravity. Okay. What if I didn't trap my player? Greater than or equal to. Let me remove the trap method real quick. Why don't you use vectors? Honestly, I didn't have enough time for like learning about vectors. There we go, my player is here. Okay, it was my trap method that was wrong. And yeah, I did want to learn about vectors and all that as well, but my 100 series is gonna end like in 2 days, so I have to like rush. Okay, it was my trap. Okay, let's fix my trap method. Self.rect, my hero's x-axis. Okay, minus my hero's width. Did it have to be a tuple because this is a function? Okay, integer object, not callable. Okay, let me just remove this. My hero's current y-axis. 650 minus self dot rect dot height. Okay, I know that my hero is kind of trapped up there. Okay, x-axis increased by x-axis velocity. Okay, I'll figure my trap function out later. Okay, that's my hero's object. The health bar does move with him, although I do want my hero to fall down. So under my gravity, if my hero's bottom, okay, my floor's bottom, my gravity should be pulling him down. Okay, I promise you vectors will blow your mind. Honestly, I'm definitely going to learn vectors like after my 100 series. This is going to be like day 98. Okay, let me change my hero's position in that case. I mean, the position is perfect. Okay. Okay, actually, I'll figure out my hero in a bit. Let me go ahead and add the rest of the classes. So I add all the collision detections as well. So let me firstly go ahead and create a class. Okay, I'll create a class for my buff bar right now because I do want my I do want to add a buff bar above my hero's health bar. So let me create a buff bar class. And just like my health bar class, my buff bar class won't inherit from my game objects because I want my buff bar to be right above my hero and moving with my hero. So my buff bar class will have a dungeon init constructor. My dungeon init constructor is going to be having a parameter of max underscore buff. Max underscore buff honestly is the same as my max underscore buff underscore HP. This is shorter. This is going to be the max HP of my buff. That is going to be set to 100. Let me add a few instance variables. For example, self.current underscore buff. I'll set that equal to something like my 0. Okay, the reason I set my self.current buff to be equal to 0 is because I want my hero to start with no buff at all. Then I'll need something like self.activate. Is my buff activated or not? So this is going to be a boolean instance variable. I'll set that equal to false. Because my buff, I don't want my buff to be activated once my player starts a match. Let me go ahead and create a self.buff underscore time. This is going to be when my buff spawned on my screen. And since we're using time right now, I will import the time module. So let me go ahead and import the time module. Okay, perfect. Let me just scroll down. Okay, so my self.buffTime is going to be equal to my time module.the time function. Basically, what the time module's time function does is it gives me, okay, the time module's time function gives me the Python's exact time right now. But if it's set to a variable, and if that variable randomly spawns on the screen, or like whenever that variable spawns, it starts counting Python's. It like tracks that time. That made any sense, guys? I'm real bad at phrasing. So like whenever my buff bar is going to spawn in my screen, it's going to start a timer, and then I'm later going to subtract the timer by Python's current time. So if that made any sense, because I just want my buff bar to last for 5 seconds. Guys, I'm kind of bad at explaining. Let me go ahead and add a buff path instance variable as well. These are going to be all the images for my buff potions. So I mean my buff bar's health bar. Okay. My 0 buff bar's file path is going to be pygame.image.load. I'll give the file path. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by buff bar 2 more forward slashes, my 0 HP buff bar. And since this is a PNG, I will convert it to alpha. Okay, perfect. And now just to save time, I will copy this and paste it like 5 times, I guess. This is going to be 20 buff, 40 buff, 60 buff, 80 buff, and 100 buff. Let me remove the comma from there. Change this 0 to 20, change that 0 to 20, change this 0 to 40, change that 0 to 40, change this 0 to 60, change that to 60, change this to 80, change that to 80. Lastly, let me change this to 100. Okay, let me just go here, change this to 100 and this to 100. Okay, perfect. Now that I've loaded my images, I would want to scale my images as well. So let me go ahead and scale my images. To scale my images, I need to iterate over my dictionary to get access to every single individual value of my dictionary. So let me go with for every key in my self.hp path, self.buff path actually. Okay, I'll go with self.buff path at index of key. This is going to be buff path. This basically gives me access to every individual keys inside of my dictionary. Also, that equal to invoke my scale function. I want to scale myself dot buff path at index of key. Okay, perfect. This basically scales my entire dictionary here. Okay, now let me go ahead and create a method. What all methods would my buff bar need? My buff bar might need a method to activate my buff. Like if my player collects a potion, the buff gets activated. So let me go ahead and define a activate underscore buff method. It will be having a parameter of amount. The reason I have a parameter of amount is I could say my player collected a potion, invoke the activate or like use the or call the activate buff method, and the amount is going to be 100. Give my player 100 buff, which means 100 HP. Okay, let me go ahead and add a, let's say, if statement. So actually not if statement, I'll just add my states when my buff is active. So for example, my self.activate, I'll set that equal to true. My buff is currently active. My self.current buff, my buff bar's current HP is going to be equal to my amount, how much ever amount I wanted to give to my buff, and then self.buff time is going to be equal to the same time. This tracks when my buff bar just spawned on the screen. Okay, that's basically it. What else would I need? I might need a take damage method as well to like check if my buff bar took damage. So let me go ahead and define a take underscore damage method. My take damage method will have a amount parameter as well. Okay, now let me add a if statement here to check if my buff is currently activated, because the only time I want my buff bar to take damage is when my buff bar is activated. So if self.activate, if my buff bar is currently activated, I'll go with my self.current buff, my buff bar's current HP, also that equal to, let me go with max. Max is going to be 0. My buff bar's HP can go below 0. Maybe zoom out a little so you guys can see. And then let me go with self.current buff, my buff bar's current HP minus my amount. Okay, so this basically means is whenever my buff bar takes damage, subtract my buff bar's current HP by my amount, but that amount can go below 0. Okay, that's basically it for my buff bar's aggressive methods, if that's what we call it. Let me go ahead and define a draw method now. My draw method is going to be exactly the same as my health bar class. I would need a surface parameter. My surface is going to be equal to screen by default. Okay, and then I might need a hero underscore rect parameter. My hero underscore rect is going to be equal to none. Okay, now let me go ahead and iterate over my buff paths again so I can like, the reason I'm actually, let me just show you guys. I'll go with buff underscore key. I'll set that equal to max and add a conditional expression. So first, let me iterate over my buff path. I'll go with for every key in my self dot buff path. Okay, if my self dot, actually, if my key is less than or equal to my self dot current buff, my self dot current buff's HP, I return my key. So basically, what this means is first I iterate over my self.buff path and get access to every key's values, every individual key's values. Okay, and then if my that key is less than or equal to my self.current buff's HP, if my, this is by the way, these are keys and those are values. So once I iterate over them, I get access to every single image from here, my buff path's image, and if the image of my key, if my image's key is less than or equal to my self.current buff, I return that key. So for example, if my player has 100 HP, it's going to show this image. If my player took 20 damage and now he's 80 HP, his key is 80 HP, it's going to show this value. Okay, let me add that to a variable now. I'll set that equal to image variable. Okay, I'll create an image variable, so that equal to my self.buffPath at index of buff key. This is going to be buff path. Okay, this basically gives me the image changing buff path, if that made any sense. Okay, now let me go ahead and create an x-axis for where my buff bar is going to be located. Let me go ahead and let's see. Okay, I might go with something like my hero center x minus my buff bar's width center. So okay, it says OBS connection successful. Guys, let me know if like you guys can like listen to me, because my Wi-Fi just started acting cranky for a bit. I think we good. I think we good. Okay, that kind of is my vertical stream going good? I think we good. I think we good. Okay, we're good. We're good, guys. I got scared for a second. I was like, what's wrong with my Wi-Fi? Okay, so where were we? We were adding our positions for our buff bars, so let's do that. Alright guys, mic testing. Can you guys like hear me now? I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with my Wi-Fi. Bro guys, my Wi-Fi is actually pretty good. But like, is it because I'm multi-streaming? Okay, am I like audible right now? Figure out what's wrong with my Wi-Fi. Okay, perfect. So where was I? Okay, the reason I added negative 50 here is just for visuals. You guys could play around with it. Let me go ahead and add one for my y-axis as well. I'll set my y-axis equal to game.hero.rect.centerx. This is basically the center of my hero. I'll subtract that by my image. Actually, this is not going to be centerx. This is going to be top. So my image, my buff bar is going to be drawn at the top of my hero. I will subtract that by my image dot get underscore width. I'll get the width of my image. And guys, this is going to be divided by 2. Okay, and this is going to be negative 50. Guys, all this Wi-Fi stuff in my OBS reconnecting caught me off guard, so I forgot where I was. But the reason I did this is because this code here, this is my hero center. And then I subtracted that by my image's width as well. So my health bar is right in the center of my hero. And this is for the y-axis. It's all for visuals, guys. I forgot what I had to explain for this part. Okay, that aside, let me go ahead and blitz my buff bar on the screen as well. So let me go with surface, which is set to screen by default, dot blitz. I want to blitz my... let's go with image, which is my buff bar's image. And the position is going to be x-axis and y-axis. Again, guys, I apologize like for the inconvenience. Like, this is not expected, guys. This wasn't part of the plan. The Wi-Fi getting a little messed up. Okay, now, honestly, in my heroes take damage, I might add an if statement here as well. If my self.current buff, if my buff bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'll set my self.activate to be equal to false. Once my buff bar's HP is less than or equal to 0, my buff bar is no longer activated. Okay, perfect. Now let me go ahead and create a object for my buff bar. Let me go with self.buffbar, self.buff underscore bar. I'll set that equal to my buff bar class. Okay, perfect. Okay, next up, what else would I need? Let me go ahead and draw my buff bar as well. So under my graphics, I'll draw my buff bar, but before I draw my buff bar, I'll check if my buff bar is activated. Honestly, I might show you guys what happens if my buff bar isn't activated. I'll go with my game object dot my buff bar object, which is inside of my game object dot the draw method. Okay, the problem with this is if I run the command, my buff bar is going to be drawn above my player, even though my even though my buff bar isn't activated yet. Although if I went with something like if my game object dot my buff bar object, which is inside of my game object dot activate, only if my buff bar is activated, I want to draw this. Okay, now if I run the command, there we go. It's not showing anymore. Although I might need an update method as well, because I want to remove my buff after 5 seconds have passed on the screen. So let me go ahead and add a update method as well. So I'm going to define a update method. My update method is going to be, let me just fix my spelling here. My update method honestly won't have any parameters, but I will have an if statement. So if my self.activate, if my buff bar is currently activated and not in a pair of parentheses, let's see, and not time.time, my Python's current time, time.the_time module, this is basically Python's current time that's going on, minus my self.buff time. This is when my buff bar initially spawns on the screen. If my time.time minus my self.buff time is greater than, let's say 5 seconds, I'll set my self.activate to be equal to false. I don't want my buff bar to be no longer activated. Okay, let me actually add that to my graphics as well. I'll go with my game object dot my buff bar object, which is inside of my game object dot. Let's go with something like, I don't know, update, the update method. Okay, perfect. Now I gotta figure out why is my hero standing up there. I can go back and forth. I can jump. Okay, let's fix that. Let me go all the way up here to my hero class. Right here. Okay, for my hero class, the gravity method. I increase my y-axis underscore velocity by my gravity, then I increase my hero's y-axis by my y-axis underscore velocity. That part's correct. Landing if my self.rect.bottom, if my hero's bottom is greater than, is higher than, or equal to the same level of my floor's y-axis, my self.rect.bottom, my hero's bottom is going to be equal to my floor.y-axis, then I reset my velocity. That part's correct. Let's check the move method. If my key is at index of pygame.k, if my key is right, okay, I increase my self.x-axis. If my key is left, I decrease my x-axis. Okay, pygame.k space. If my spacebar is clicked, I set my y-axis underscore velocity to be equal to my self.jump strength, which is set to -4. Is my instance variable spelling correct? Jump strength, let me just copy that. Paste it. Paste it. Okay. That part's correct. What if I change the position of y-axis to be something like 200? Okay, he does go lower. Let me change that to be something like 300. Okay, what if I change that to be something like 500? 400. I'm from IIT Kagpur. Do you want any help? Honestly, I think I got this. I'm just doing like some silly mistakes. So my spacebar isn't working. Okay, let's fix that. Because did I import something wrong? Okay, imported everything correct. X-axis underscore velocity equals to x-axis velocity. Y-axis underscore velocity equals to y-axis underscore velocity. My game object class is image, positions, position. Okay, that's 300 by 400. That's 500 by 400. Okay. Okay, honestly, this does look pretty good. Like, it is at around 300. Maybe I want to get it a bit lower. Okay, what if I go with something like 405? Okay, to fix that, I might go under my landing and increase that by 20. There we go, and I increase that by 20 as well. Okay, this basically means is my flare is going to be exactly touching the floor. Guys, is this code like... I'm doing everything correctly, honestly. Jump strength is set to -4. My y-axis velocity equals to jump strength. So I jump upwards. Okay. Yeah, it does look pretty correct, honestly. Okay, I guess I'll figure out the jump in a bit. Let me go ahead and add collision detection to the game. Although before I add collision detection, let me go ahead and create a few more objects for my game drop. So I'll go with self.coins. Okay, so I created a coins object inside of my game's object. Although I won't like just set my coins object to be equal to my drops class just yet. I'm going to set it to be a list of my drops class. The reason I set it to be a list of my drops class is because I want multiple coins to spawn. If I didn't set it to be a list, just one coin would spawn. Once I collide with that coin would disappear and no more coins would spawn. So drops class, and this is going to be my coin image. Okay, let me do the same thing for my self.meals class. Also, that equal to a list of my drops class. Okay, this is going to be my meat underscore image. I'll add one for my potion as well, self.buff underscore pot, my buff potion also. That equals to a list of my drops class. This is going to be my buff pot image. Okay, perfect. And then let me drink some water. Maybe I can't think why my player isn't jumping because I'm not hydrated. Alright, perfect. Let's see. Hero, dragon, skeleton. What else would I need? Honestly, since I can't think of anything else, any other objects that I would need, let me go ahead and add a collision detection for my hero slash my player and my NPCs. Okay, so maybe under my event loop, I'll go ahead and add a comment that says collision detection for player and NPCs. Okay, I actually might go with hero. Okay, now since I have multiple NPCs, I wouldn't want to go over collision detection over all of them one by one. So let me define a function. I'll define a function for, that's going to be called collision underscore detector. There we go. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and now my collision detector function is going to be having a few parameters, like let's say my hero parameter. Who is my hero? A enemy parameter. Who is my enemy object? And then this is going to be optional enemy underscore name parameter. The reason I would need my enemy name parameter is because I want to specify with which enemy did my hero collide with. That is optional. And lastly, a collision underscore flag parameter. The reason I have a collision underscore flag, that basically means under my game objects, I have a collision flag section. Is my skeleton underscore collision set to true? If it's set to true, a collision flag did happen. If it's set to false, a collision flag didn't happen. Okay, perfect. With that out of the way, what all do we need for pixel perfect collision? We will need offsets and a overlap variable. So let me go ahead and create offsets first. Offset underscore x-axis is going to be equal to, let's see, my enemy object's x-axis, so enemy dot rect dot x-axis minus my hero object's x-axis, so hero dot rect dot x-axis. And then I'm going to do the same thing for offset underscore y-axis. I'll just change the x's to y's. I'll set that equal to my enemy object dot rect dot y-axis minus my hero object dot rect dot y-axis. Okay, this is basically it for the offsets. Now let me go ahead and create a overlap variable to check if a overlap did happen. Now let me go with my hero object's mask. So I'll go with hero. Okay, my hero object dot mask dot overlap, a pair of parentheses, my enemy object dot mask at the given offset of offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis. Okay, what this basically means is if my hero's mask overlaps with my enemy's mask at this given offset, that's going to be considered a overlap. Now let me add a if statement to do something if a overlap did happen. So I'll go with if overlap. Okay, if a overlap did happen, and then if not collision flag. The reason I went with if not collision flag, this says if a overlap did happen and if my collision flag is set to true, I'm going to be doing my collision logic. And currently my collision flag is set to false, that's why I went with not. Okay, I'm going to be printing something like, actually I'll print a f string that says, boom, you collided with add a pair of curly parentheses, go with my enemy name. You collided with enemy name. Okay, perfect. And then what else would I want to do if I collided with someone? I might need to add a parameter or like a variable for my damage to like give my health bar some damage. So let's do that. There are honestly 3 ways to doing this. Let me show all 3 ways. Maybe I add a comment that says buff bar takes damage first. So this basically means if I do have a buff bar, like if my buff bar is currently activated, my buff bar takes damage. So for my buff bar, I'll go with if my game object dot my buff bar object inside of my game object dot deactivate instance variable or boolean instance variable. If my buff bar is currently activated, I'm going to go with game object dot buff bar object dot the take underscore damage method. Okay, now there are 3 ways to add damage here. First way, I could go and manually add 20 damage. The second way is I could create a variable called damage and set that equal to 20 and then add my damage variable here. Okay, and the third way is to, let me just go with the control C, is to add another parameter of damage and set that equal to 20 by default. I honestly prefer doing that. That looks much neater. Then let me add the damage parameter here. Okay, perfect. Okay, what else would I do? Let me add a if statement here as well to see if my buff bar's HP is less than or equal to 0. So if my self dot buff bar if my game object dot my buff bar object inside of my game object dot current buff, my buff bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna set myself dot, actually I'm gonna set my game dot, my game object dot, my buff bar object inside of my game object dot activate to be equal to false. My buff bar is no longer activated, so my buff bar won't take any damage anymore, because the only way my buff bar does take damage is if my buff bar is set to true. If my buff bar is activated set to true. Okay, now with that out of the way, I'll go outside the if statement of my if game.buffbar.activate and add a else clause here. Maybe add a comment as well that says health bar takes damage. Okay, this is where my health bar is going to be taking damage. So let me go with my game object dot my health bar object dot take underscore damage. My damage is going to be my damage parameter, which is set to 20 by default. Okay. And then let me add an if statement for what happens if my buff bar's HP is, actually my health bar's HP is less than or equal to 0. I'll go with an if statement. If my game object, the if statement goes indented here. If my game object dot my health bar object inside of my game object dot the dot current HP, if my health bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, I'll set my game object dot my game underscore lost boolean instance variable to be equal to true. I lose the game if my health bar's HP is less than 0. And well, that's basically it. Currently inside of my game states here, my game.game lost is set to false and game.game won is set to false as well, because I haven't won or lost yet. Okay, let's actually test this. If I go ahead and run the command and I collide with my enemy, there is something like messed up with my player object here, because the code is actually correct. Okay, maybe I go and write my hero class again, because I definitely messed up somewhere in my hero class. Okay, let me just write my hero class again. Okay, so I create a hero class hero. My hero class is going to be inheriting from my game objects class. Okay, and then let me go ahead and define a dungeon init constructor. And a few parameters. My hero would need a x-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame, a y-axis underscore velocity, also that equal to 5 pixels per frame as well. Something like, let's see, image, also that equal to my hero image. Position, also that equal to something like 100 by 300. Okay. And then, what else would I need? Honestly, I might need a jump strength as well for my hero. So jump underscore strength. I'll set that equal to -4. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a super pair of parentheses dot dungeon init. I'll add all the parameters of my game objects class. That's going to be image, x-axis velocity, y-axis velocity, and position. Image is going to be equal to my hero's image. Position is going to be equal to my hero's position. X-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my hero's x-axis underscore velocity. Lastly, y-axis underscore velocity is going to be equal to my hero's y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, next up, let me add an instance variable for my jump strength. Self.jump underscore strength equals to jump strength. Okay, now let me go ahead and add a few methods. For example, a move method for my hero. Self.move is gonna have a parameter. My move method will have a parameter of keys to it. Okay, now let me add a few if statements. If my keys at index of pygame.k is right, if my right key is pressed, I'm going to do something. I'm going to set my self.rect.x-axis, my hero's x-axis, to increase by my self.x-axis underscore velocity, which is 5 pixels per frame. And if my keys at index of pygame.k is left, if my left key is pressed, I decrease my self.rect.x-axis, my hero's x-axis, by my self.x-axis underscore velocity. Okay, and lastly, if my keys at index of pygame.k is space, if my spacebar is clicked, there we go. I actually, do I like set my self.y-axis underscore velocity equal to my self.jump strength? Okay, that honestly does look correct. This is definitely correct. Okay, and then let me actually define apply gravity method as well for my players, because I want to add gravity to my player. Okay, my apply gravity method won't have any parameters, although it is going to be having, let's see, a if statement. Actually, not if statement. I'll increase my y-axis underscore velocity, my hero's y-axis underscore velocity, by my gravity variable. Okay, and just to confirm, what is my gravity variable set to? It is set to 0.5. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, now under my hero class, I'm gonna increase my self.y-axis underscore, actually self.rect.y-axis, my hero's y-axis, to increase by my self.y-axis underscore velocity. Okay, this basically simulates gravity, that my player is going to be pulled down or my hero is going to be pulled downwards. Although I do need to add landing as well, so he stops at a certain point. Let me go ahead and add landing. Okay, for my landing, let's see. I could go with an if statement. If my self dot rect dot bottom, if my hero's bottom is greater than or equal to my floor variable dot y-axis, if my hero's bottom is above or at the same level of my floor's y-axis, he stays at my self dot rect dot bottom. My hero's bottom is going to be equal to my floor dot y-axis. Okay, and then let me go ahead and reset my self dot y-axis underscore velocity to be equal to 0. Okay, now run the command. Okay, I can jump. Is there a reason that I can't jump? Okay. What happens if I remove my... I don't have a trap method here. Okay, let's see. Where could I be messing up? What if I increase that? Okay, this wouldn't make any sense though. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, let's see. Where could I be messing? Am I messing my drawings? When I draw my hero, I have a draw method under my game objects class, surface, self.rect. Okay, so I want to blend my hero's image and my hero's position. Self.rect.get underscore self.image.get underscore rect. My position is going to be top left at my position, which is set to 0, 0 by default. Okay, then my mask is correct. Okay, jump strength is -4. Did I need any other method or attribute for my apply gravity? Might have to drink some water, guys. Okay, did I need any other method or attribute for my hero? I mean, I'm pretty sure there is nothing else that I needed. Did I draw him correctly on my screen? Okay, I created my hero's object right here. Okay, self.hero equals to my hero class. That's correct. And then I draw him under my graphics category, game.hero.draw. I draw my hero. Okay, it should work, right? Why doesn't the gravity work here? Okay, let's see. Honestly, I might just check my gravity's reference code, because I'm pretty sure that my gravity is correct. Okay, this part is correct. Okay. My hero object is correct. Okay guys, I might ask Sensei / ChatGPT here. Okay, let me go with Control A, Control C. Get ChatGPT / Sensei here. Paste it, add a bunch of spaces and say, Sensei, why doesn't my... Oh guys, I'm so stupid. Never mind guys, I'm so stupid. My bad. How is my apply gravity gonna work? I didn't even invoke my function here. Oh my gosh. Game.apply gravity. Game.hero.apply gravity. There we go. No wonder. I was like, what am I messing up? It's correct. Okay, there we go. Now there's a gravity here. Now my player can jump. Okay, guys, that was kind of stupid of me. My bad. Okay, although there's one more thing for my hero's visuals here. Why isn't my hero like touching the floor here? Let me go ahead and fix that. To fix that, let me go all the way up to my hero class. Right here. And where I added my landing, I'm just going to increase the pixels by 20 from here. There we go. Increase that by 20 and increase that by 20 as well. Okay, now my hero is going to be a little lower. There we go. That honestly looks perfect. Although my hero can exit the window, so let me add a trap method as well. Excuse me guys, so under my move method, I'm going to be adding a comment that says trap player, actually trap hero in window. Okay, this is going to trap my hero in window, so I'll go with I'll go with self.rect.x-axis, my hero's x-axis. I'll set that equal to max. Max is going to be 0. My hero can go beyond 0, so my hero can be in a negative position in the x-axis. And then I'll go with self.rect.x-axis, my hero's current x-axis, 1000, my vertical window size, my width, minus self.rect.width, my hero's width. Okay, I'll do the same thing for my y-axis as well. I can go with self.rect.y-axis. I'll set that equal to max, which is going to be 0. My hero can go in a negative y-axis position. Self.rect.y-axis, my hero's current y-axis 650. My vertical window size minus self.rect.height. And guys, I feel like I said vertical window size for this as well. I meant horizontal. Okay, perfect. Now if I run the command, my hero shouldn't be able to exit the screen. Oh, did I invoke the function? Self.rect.y-axis minus self.rect.width, hero's width. Okay, did I add my move method? I did add my move method. Okay. Let's see where I messed up. I'm pretty sure I didn't mess up though. Is it like a silly mistake or like a typo? Self.rect. Oh, it's okay. Never mind. I indented this inside. Guys, always keep a good indentation in mind. My bad. I am making a lot of typos today for some reason. Do I still have a typo? Like, okay, this is my move method. Trap hero and window. I'm pretty sure my trap is correct. Self.rect.x-axis. Here 1000. I'm pretty sure this part is correct. Okay, maybe I drink some water to like jog my memory up real quick. Okay, so oops. Alright, so why is my hero so a few questions. Why is my hero spawning here? And when I go there, like when I go a little to the left, I can't go to the left, I can go to the right. Okay, so my hero is being blocked at that position. Is it because I added a automate method to my hero? Or like a loop method? Okay, my hero can go beyond 0. What if I remove my y-axis? I mean my x-axis. I can jump. Okay. Let me go with the Control Z. What if I remove my x-axis? Okay, if I... Alright, so it's my x-axis position. So it's my positioning that's wrong, so let's fix that. Self.rect.x-axis. Instead of this being 0, I could change this to something like, let's see. Self.rect. Honestly, I might change something like negative. Also, hard coding isn't recommended. Okay. Where's my screen being drawn? Okay, I went with a screen.fill. Okay, without the two of these. Trap, hero, and window. I spawn here. I can go back. So that back is 0. That is the top left. So that's up. I stop down here. I can go all the way to the right. Okay, so my hero's x-axis position can go in a negative position in my screen's x-axis. Although that was correct in that case. Self.rect.x-axis is going to be equal to, let's see. Okay, my hero's x-axis is going to be equal to max. Max is going to be set to 0. Okay, my hero can go to a negative position, and then self.rect.x-axis minus my comma self 1000 my vertical window size. Is my vertical window size 1000? I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, it is 1000 by 650. 1000 minus self dot rect dot width, my hero's width. Okay, now if I run the command, why does my hero spawn here? He should be staying there itself. Okay, I think I messed up with my graphics. Did I draw something wrong? Okay, I draw my hero. Okay, I apply gravity to my hero. I automate my skeleton and my dragon. Okay, I move my hero here. I draw my hero there. Okay, what if I create a separate method for automating? I'm pretty sure that that's not necessary, but I guess there's no harm in trying, guys. Control-Shift-C. Let me go with 0, copy this. Okay, let me go ahead and try creating a separate method for automating. So I'll create a trapping. I'll create a trap method. Okay, paste that. Drop layer in window. Okay, now let me go to my game objects here. Under my apply gravity, I'll go with game object.hero object inside of my game object.trap. Okay, this is gonna trap my hero. Okay, that doesn't even show my hero now. Okay, why could it be, what could be going wrong here? I transformed my images, I scaled my images. Okay, honestly, I might work on that later in that case. Let me add the rest of the details to the game first. Okay, eventually I'll figure out what went wrong there. Okay, so let's see. Maybe after before my game objects, let me go ahead and add my collision detection now. So the first collision detection that I'm going to be adding is going to be for my game object.my skeleton collision flag. Also that equals to, and for my collision detection, since I did define a function, let me go ahead and return something. If a collision did happen, if my collision flag is set to true, I'm going to go ahead and return true. Otherwise, I'll return false. Okay, perfect. And then game object, let me go ahead and invoke my collision detector function. Okay, now I'll fill in the parameters. So I need a hero parameter. My hero parameter is going to be my game.hero. My enemy parameter is going to be my game object.my skeleton object. Inside of my game object, my enemy name is going to be skeleton. Okay, let me just zoom out so you guys can see. Lastly, my collision flag is going to be my skeleton collision. Let me copy that and add that in my collision flag section right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, the reason it's showing like a yellow line is probably because I got it indented. Okay, perfect. Let me do the same thing for my dragon collision flag as well. So I'll go with my game object dot my dragon collision, dragon underscore collision. Also that equal to my collision detector function. I'll add the parameters. First is going to be my hero parameter. My hero parameter is going to be my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object. My enemy parameter is going to be my game object dot my dragon object inside of my game object. My enemy name is going to be dragon. Lastly, my collision flag is going to be my game.dragon collision. Let me copy that and paste it here. Maybe I change that to be capital S. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for my collision detection. If I were to run the command, every time I collide, it's going to say, boom, you collided my console and I like lose a HP. Let's see what happens if my HP is set to 0. Honestly, nothing will happen if my HP is set to 0 because I didn't add my win/lose logic yet. So, but let me just add. Okay, so now that it's set to 0, my game.game_lost is set to true, although my collision detection, I didn't add a win/lose logic, so let me go ahead and add that now. And guys, because of my headphones, I'm trying to get runny nose for some reason. Okay, let me go ahead and add a win/lose. Actually, it's gonna look better this way. Logic. Maybe zoom in a bit. Okay, for my win/lose logic, let's see, what all do I need? I gotta add a win logic as well, so let me go ahead and add a win logic first. If my game object dot my score object inside of my game object, which is initially set to 0, if that is greater than or equal to 10, if my score is greater than or equal to 10, more than or equal to 10, I'll set my game object dot my game underscore 1 to be equal to true. My player has won the game. In the other hand, let me go with if my game object actually, okay, if my game dot game underscore 1, if my player has won the game, I'm going to be blitting my windscreen UI on my screen. So I'll go with screen dot blit. I want to blit my windscreen UI at the given dest of 0 0. Okay, perfect. And then I would want to even print a text on my screen that's going to say something like you won, press R to play again. So for that, I did have a, let me just zoom out a bit. For that, I did create a few variables up here. Like it was probably like 10 minutes after I started streaming. I forgot the time, guys. In under my windscreen section, I have a WinText font. So let's use that font to like actually show a text on the screen. So let me go all the way down to my right here. Okay, I'll create a new variable called win underscore text. I'll set that equal to my WinText font. This is going to be my text font. I'll use the dot render function to render the text on the screen. Let me render a text. I'll render a text that's going to be something like all caps you won exclamation press R to play again. And then my italicized, if that's how you pronounce it, is going to be set to true. Lastly, my color is going to be black. So 0 0 0. Okay, perfect. And now let me go ahead and blit my text on my screen. So I'll go with screen.blit. I want to blit my win text on the screen. This is going to be win text variable on the screen. My dest is going to be, let's see, somewhere around the center of my screen. That could be 250 by 40. Okay, and guys, this is, you guys could experiment with that center, or you guys could like add the a formula for getting the exact center of your screen. I actually forgot that formula, so I'm manually adding this. Okay, then let me check if what happens if I lose a game. And the way I lose a game is if my health bar's current HP is less than or equal to 0, my game.game lost is going to be equal to true. So let's check that. Okay, let's go with game.game underscore lost. If game.game underscore lost, if my player has lost the game, I'll go with screen.blit. Okay, I'll blit something on my screen. I'll blit my blue screen UI at the given dest of 0 and 0. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add a loose text as well. So my loose text is going to be equal to my loose text font dot the render function, and let me go ahead and render a text on the screen. I'll render something like you lost exclamation press R to restart. Okay, and then the italicized, if that's how you pronounce it, guys, I'm real bad with pronunciations, is going to be set to true, and lastly the color is going to be set to black. Okay, perfect. There. Maybe I like zoom out so you guys can actually see it. Okay, there we go. Next up, let me go ahead and blit my loose text on my screen. So I'll go with screen.blit. I want to blit my loose text on my screen at the given position of 250 by 40. Exactly the same as my windscreen text. And I will be loading sound effects as well. That is honestly going to be really hilarious because I am the voice artist of my sound effects. Okay, with that said, I will go with the else clause now. Else, if my player hasn't lost, like if I haven't lost or I haven't won, I will run my regular game loop. Okay, so what is my regular game loop going to be? It's going to be everything here, but not my FPS and my updates. Okay, so everything under my regular game loops category. Okay, there we go. Now let me, if I were to run the command, okay, let's try to lose. I would recommend Wim Motions or just Nivam, by the way. Is that how you pronounce it? Honestly, I should have... Okay, so if I lose, it says you lost press R to win. Honestly, I might check on those stuff. I actually need to learn so many more things when it comes to programming. I feel like I'm still a beginner currently. Okay, with that out of the way, let me go ahead and add a logic for my potions to spawn. Add a collision detection for my player and my coin. So every time my player collides with a coin, the score increases by 1. And then I would also have to add a spawn logic for my coin. So let's do that. That is going to go inside my regular game loop, maybe under my game objects section. Okay, I'll add a comment that says collision detection for hero and coins. This is basically going to be the collision detection for my hero and coin. And what all do we need for collision detections? We need offsets like offset x-axis, offset y-axis, and an overlap variable. But before that, we should keep in mind that our coins, our self.coins, our coins as object is set to a list of our drops class. So we would have to iterate over before adding offsets or doing anything else. So let's go ahead and do that first. I'll iterate over my coins list for every coin in my game object dot my coins inside of my game object dot actually just inside of my games object add index of colon. Okay, do you guys know why did we add index of colon here? I'll tell you guys after I'm done creating offsets, like a tiny quiz. So offset underscore x-axis is going to be equal to my coin dot rect, my coins is rex x-axis minus my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot rect dot x-axis. Okay, let me do the same thing for my offset y as well. I'll go with offset underscore y-axis. I'll set that equal to my coin object dot rect dot y-axis minus my game object dot my hero object dot rect dot y-axis. Okay, and the reason we added a colon here is like for every coin in my game.coins and index of colon is because our index of colon duplicates everything inside of our list, and I do want to remove my coin once my player collides with it and I get a score. And to remove a coin, it's always safe to have a duplicate of them. If that made any sense, guys. Okay, let me go ahead and create an overlap variable. Also, that equal to, let's see. Okay, what does my overlap variable need to be set to? Okay, I'm going to be checking if my player's mask overlaps with my coin's mask at this given offset. So to do that, I'll go with my game object dot my hero object, which is inside of my game object dot mask dot overlap. If my hero's mask overlaps with my coin dot mask at the given offset, let me just zoom out a bit. At the given offset of my offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis, that's going to be considered a overlap. Let's see what, let me add a if statement. If a overlap did happen, I'll do something. Let's see. Okay, so if an overlap did happen, let me go ahead and add my game dot score, my score instance variable inside of my game. I'm going to increase that by 1. Then let me add my game dot scored boolean instance variable to be equal to false. Actually, to be equal to true because I did score. Okay, and then I'm going to remove my coin once my player collides with it. So I'll go with my game object dot my coins object inside of my game object dot the remove function. I want to remove my coin. Okay, perfect. Let me go with else clause game dot scored equals to false. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me again, guys. Okay, so basically what this means is if I like overlap with the coin, my score increases by 1. That time my score is going to be set to true and I remove that coin. If I didn't score, my score is going to be set to false. Alright, that's basically collision detection logic for my player slash my hero and my coin. Now let me add a spawn logic. So my coin spawns once every 4 seconds. And since I want to add a delay there, let me go ahead and go under my game objects class and create a section for, let's see, my drop delay. Okay, for my drop delay, I'm going to be checking when my coin first dropped on the screen. So let me add a self.coin underscore drop underscore time instance variable. Also that equal to time module dot the time function. So basically what the time module's time function does is it gives me the exact time the coin spawns on the screen. And then let me go ahead and add a self.coin underscore delay. I'll set that equal to something like 4 seconds because I want a coin to spawn once every 4 seconds on the screen. Okay, let me go ahead and go down here. Okay, let me go ahead and add a comment that says something like collision, actually spawn logic for hero, actually spawn logic for coins. Okay, for my spawn logic for coins, I'll add a if statement. So if my time module dot the time function is greater than, actually if my time module dot the time function minus my game object dot my coin drop time. What this basically means is time dot time my time modules time function gives me Python's exact current time. If that time minus my game dot coin drop time, if that time minus when my coin dropped is greater than my coin drop delay, game dot coin drop delay. Okay, I'm going to be spawning another coin in the screen, so I'll go with my game object dot my coins object dot append. I wanna append my drops class. Okay, and the image is going to be my coin underscore image. Okay, and then I will reassign my game dot coin drop time to be equal to my time module's time function. Okay, what this basically means is my coins, when my coin dropped, if that time minus my Python's current time is more than my coin drop delay, which is set to 4 seconds, if my coin dropped and 4 seconds has passed, I append another coin to my coins. Actually, I append my drop class to my coins objects list. That basically spawns another coin in the screen. Guys, if that made any sense, I'm real bad at explaining. Okay, that's basically spawn logic for coins. Let me go ahead and draw my coin now. And again, my coins is a list. My coins object is a list. So I got to iterate over it before drawing it. So let me go ahead and add a for loop. For every coin in my... Okay, for every coin in my game object dot coins, I'll go with coin dot draw. Okay, now if I run the command, a coin is going to spawn once every 4 seconds, and if I collide with it, I collect it. Okay, 4 seconds have passed. Let me wait for another coin. There we go, you guys get the gist of it. Although the coins won't spawn under my floor because I added a, whatchamacallit, a drop logic, not drop logic, I forgot what it was. A limit to where my coins can spawn. My coins will spawn everywhere above my floor. I added that like a while when I started the stream. I can't remember, guys, my memory's kind of bad. Okay, with that said, I'm trying to get 10 points here so I can check if my win logic works as well. There we go, it says you won. Although, why does my game loop still be running even though I won? Let's see. Under my win logic, my win/lose logic, let me change my game lost to be an else if. Okay. And let me change my game 1 to be 1 instead of tens. So I just want to test if it works. Okay, now if I collect the coin, there we go, boom. And guys, give me a sec. Let me just message my sister real quick. Let me say, talk slow. I can hear your calls. Okay. Alright guys, if you guys can hear any sounds, just ignore the background noises. Okay, let me just get my chats open again. Oh, there we go. Okay, it says you won, and if I lose, it's gonna say you lost. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's see what else do I need. Okay, I would need meats as well, like my meat to spawn in the screen randomly, and every time my player collects the meat, he gains HP. Okay, so for that, let me go ahead and add a collision detection for player and meals. So I'll go with a comment that says collision detection for hero and meals. Okay, so for my collision detection for my hero and meals, since my meals is in a list as well, I'll iterate over it first for every meal in my, let's see, in my game object dot my meals object inside of my game object. Okay, add index of colon. The reason I am adding an index of colon is because it duplicates everything inside of my list, and it's safer to duplicate stuff in your list if you want to remove stuff, and I do want to remove my meat once my player collides with it. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create offset. So offset underscore x-axis is going to be equal to my meals dot rect dot x-axis, my meals x-axis, minus my game object dot my heat object inside of my game object dot rect dot x-axis. And then for my offset underscore y-axis, I'll set that equal to my meal object dot my rect object dot y-axis minus my game object dot my heat object, which is inside of my game object dot rect dot y-axis. Okay, that's pretty much it for offsets. Let me go ahead and add a overlap now. So a overlap variable, I'll set that equal to pygame, actually not pygame, my games dot my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot mask dot overlap my meals object or my meal object dot mask at the given offsets of offset underscore x-axis and offset underscore y-axis. Okay, so what this basically means is if my hero's mask overlaps with my meal's mask at this given offset, it's going to be considered a overlap. Let's see what to do if a overlap is considered, or if like a overlap happens. Because I am a little exhausted right now, so my explanation is going to get a little vague. Okay, with that said, I'll go with overlap. If a overlap did happen, I want to heal my player. So let me go with my game object dot my health bar object inside of my game object dot the heal method. I heal my health bar by 20 HP. And then I go with my game object dot my meals object inside of my game object dot the remove function. I want to remove my meal. Okay, that's pretty much it for my collision detection for hero and meals. Although, what if I do have to spawn my hero as well? So let me go ahead and add a spawn logic. Let me get a spawn logic for hero and actually spawn logic for meals, guys. I cannot phrase anything right now. Okay, so for the spawn logic, let's see what am I gonna do. I'm gonna be adding an if statement. Before I add my if statement though, under my game objects is drop delays. So drop delays, I'm gonna be adding another drop time. So self dot meal underscore drop underscore time. My meal drop time is going to be equal to my time modules time function, and then I'll go with self dot meal underscore drop underscore delay. This is the drop time or the drop delay of my meal. After how many seconds do I want a meal to spawn? I'll go with something like 14 seconds. I want a meal to spawn once every 14 seconds. Okay, now under my collision detection, I'll go with an if statement. If my time module dot my time function minus my game object dot my meal drop time is greater than my game object dot my meal drop delay. What this basically means is if the time.time module gives me Python's exact time, if my Python's current time minus when my meal dropped on the screen is greater than my meal drop time, which is 14 seconds, I want to spawn another meal on the screen once 14 seconds have passed. So I'll go with my game object dot my meals my meals object inside of my game object dot append the append function. I want to append my drops class again. Okay, and the image is going to be my meat underscore image. Okay, perfect. And then I will reassign my meal drop time to be equal to my time modules time function. Okay, perfect. Now let me go ahead and draw my meat on the screen. So for every meal in my game object dot my meals object inside of my game object, I'll draw my meal dot draw. Okay, now if I run the command. Okay, now if I run the command, a meal is going to spawn on the screen. Okay, if I take damage and I collect the meal, my HP recovers. Let me take some more damage. And the meal is going to spawn once every 14 seconds. So let's wait. I just collected a coin, my bad guys. Okay, let's wait for 14 seconds for a meal to spawn. A meal already spawns when I start the game, although I should try dodging the coins. I want to see if the meal spawn logic is working. Might collect that meat to recover some HP. Okay, there we go, another meat spawned. I recover HP, perfect. Alright, that works. Now let me go ahead and add a buff potion logic to the screen. So the buff potion is basically going to be if my player collides with a buff potion, he gets an additional 100 HP above his initial HP. So to do that, I could first, let's see. I could first add a collision logic. So a collision logic for let's see, hero and buff potion. Okay, so for my collision logic for my hero and buff potion, let me do something. Before that, let me check if my stream's going good on Kick, because I didn't check if my stream was going good today at all, guys. Okay, I'd love to join your live streams whenever you're streaming. Add me on Discord, my Discord name. Okay, honestly, after the stream, I'll definitely add you. Okay, with that said, let me check if my YouTube stream is going good. Okay, that's going good. Alright, perfect. Okay, with that said, for adding my collision logic for my hero and buff potion, I would first need to iterate over the list of my buff potions objects. So I'll go with for every, let's say, pot in my game object dot buff pot. Okay, honestly, I could change it to be a plural buff pots. Right here. Okay, I could change that to pots. Okay, and now I'll add a drop detail for my. This should be drop detail. For my buff potion, I'll go with self dot. Let's see. Self dot. Guys, I cannot think. I'm a little exhausted right now. Buff underscore pot underscore drop underscore time. My buff potion's drop time is going to be time dot time. Basically, what time dot time does is it checks when my buff potion exactly spawns on the screen. I'll go with self dot buff pot delay. Okay, this is going to be my buff potion's delay. How often do I want it to spawn? I want it to spawn once every 20 seconds. Okay, now let me go under the collision detection for my player and buff potion. There we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, since I am going to be using pixel perfect collision, and since I'm using pixel perfect collision, I would need offset. So I'll create offset. Offset underscore x-axis is going to be equal to my pot.rect.x-axis, my buff potions x-axis, minus my game object dot my hero object dot rect, my hero's rex x-axis. And when I iterate over my buff potions list, I will add an index of colon. Add index of colon basically duplicates everything inside of our list. So since if we ever remove stuff from our list, it's always safe to have a duplicate in our list. Guys, I cannot talk anymore. I'm really exhausted. Okay, my offset y is going to be equal to my pot dot rect dot y-axis minus my game dot hero dot rect dot y-axis. Okay, perfect. Okay, next up, let me go ahead and create a overlap variable. Overlap is going to be equal to my game object dot my hero object inside of my game object dot the overlap function. Okay, if my hero overlaps with my pot dot mask, if my hero's mask overlaps with my pot's mask at the given offset of a tuple, my offset underscore x-axis and my offset underscore y-axis. Okay, if this happens, that's going to be considered a overlap. Let me add another if statement. If a overlap did happen, or if a overlap is considered, then I will do something. Firstly, I'm going to activate my buff potion. So let me go with my game object dot my buff bar dot activate buff method. I want to give my buff 100 HP. Okay, and then I'll go with my bad guys. I'll go with game dot my buff pots. My game object dot my buff pots object. Inside of my game object dot the remove function, I want to remove my pots. Okay, and that's honestly basically it for my collision detection for buff potion and hero. Let me go ahead and add a spawn logic for my buff potion as well. I'll go with spawn logic for buff potion. Okay, perfect. Okay, for my spawn logic for buff potion, I'm going to be adding an if statement. So if my time module dot my time function minus my let's say game object dot buff potion drop time is greater than my game object dot my buff potion drop delay, buff pot delay. Okay, I'm going to be appending my drops class inside of my buff potions list. So I'll go with game object dot my buff pots dot the append function. Okay, I want to append my drops class. Okay, and the image is going to be my buff pot image. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to reassign my game dot buff pot drop time to be equal to my time module's time function. Alright, perfect. That's basically it for my spawn logic for buff potion. Let me go ahead and draw my buff potion on my screen as well. I'll go with a for loop for every pot in my game dot buff pots. Okay, I'll go ahead and draw my pot. So pot dot draw. Okay, now if I run the command, a potion is going to spawn once every 20 seconds. If I collect that potion, guys, I collected a gold coin, my bad. Let me change my win logic to be 10 again. There we go. Okay, now if I run the command, once I collect the buff potion, I get a additional buff on my screen. That buff lasted for like less than a second. What did I add the buff potions delay? 20 seconds. Buff bar delay is 20 seconds. Okay, where's my the buff bars class? Okay, update self.activate buff. Okay, greater than 5 seconds. Self.activate equal to false. If I run the command, buff bar didn't spawn. There we go. If I collect the buff potion, okay, a buff bar does spawn, but it despawns really quick. Let's see, game.centerx minus image.get underscore width. Although, do I take damage once it despawns? Let's see. Do I take damage? Okay, my health bar does take damage, so it could be my collision detection. Let's check my collision detection. Okay, if game.buffbar.activate, game.buffbar.take damage, my damage parameter, if buff bar's current buff is less than or equal to 0, that part is correct. Okay, then in my current buff, although what happens if I like under my graphics where I like drew my buff bar right there. Okay, what if I draw my buff bar after my buff pot right there? I mean, this shouldn't make a difference. Okay, there we go. Okay, let me check my update method. Okay, under my buff bar, the update method of self.activate if my buff bar is activated, and not time.time minus self.buff_time is greater than 5 seconds. And okay, let's try this. There we go, my buff bar is here. Okay, perfect. I added a not guys by mistake. There we go, that works. My buff bar disappears after 5 seconds. Let's see if it spawns back. Let me collect some coins too while I'm just waiting for my buff bar to spawn. Okay, my buff bar, let's see. There we go, if I collect it. Okay, perfect. Although I want the position to be a little lower, that's like too high. So let me go under my draw method and change that from -50 to be something like 100. Let's see. Okay, that position was -60. Where does -60 take this? Right there. -80. Huh, -70. Okay, -60. Oh, guys, I'm so stupid. I need to collect the potion to check where it is. Okay. Let's go with -80. Let me collect the potion again. What if I go with like -100? Okay, -150. I might want it a little higher. -140. Okay, this should be perfect. There we go. Okay, that's actually perfect. Alright. That's basically it for my all these spawns and everything. Okay, I might add sound effects as well, because although I am kind of exhausted to add sound effects actually, but I might just do it. Okay, so for my sound effects, let me go ahead and load my sound effects. What else sound effects would I need? Firstly, I might need a sound effect if my player collides with my enemies or my NPCs. What sound would he make? So let me go with a colliding _SFX, also that equal to pygame.mixer, my pygame's mixer dot the sound function, a capitalized sound function. I'll give the file path. The file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes, followed by, let's see, SFX, 2 more forward slashes, my colliding sound effect. There we go. Okay, and then I will set the volume. Let me copy that and then paste it here. So my colliding sound effect dot be set underscore volume function. Okay, I'll set the volume to be something like 0.2. That's basically 20%. Now let me go ahead and add that after a collision. Okay, so under my collision detection function, after a collision did happen, if my collision, like, if my buff bar is activated, my player won't make the take damage sound, although once my health bar takes damage, I'll go with my collision sound effect, maybe indent it a little, dot the play function. Okay, perfect. Now if I would run the command, every time I collide, okay, if you guys could like hear that. And guys, by the way, I am the voice actor of the sound effect. I just added a little modification. I went to like DaVinci Resolve and like deepened the voice. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and go all the way up. Okay, and under my collision sound effect, I would need a sound effect for when my player collects a coin. So let me go with coin collecting, or I might go with collecting coin sound effect. There we go. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. Okay, my sounds file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my colliding coin sound effect. And then I will set the volume for my colliding coin sound effect. So I'll go with colliding coin sound effect dot the set underscore volume function. Okay, and the volume is going to be 0.2, which is basically 20%. Okay, what else would I need? I'll need one for if my player is eating the meat or my player eats a meat. So let me go with eating underscore meat underscore sound effect. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. My file path is going to be game item followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my colliding sound effect. And then I will set the volume for my eating meat sound effect as well. So eating underscore meat sound effect dot set underscore volume. My volume is going to be something like 0.2, which is technically 20%. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add one for my drinking potion sound effect. I could just go with drinking underscore sound effect. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. My sound effects file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my drinking potion sound effect. I'll honestly set volume later. Okay, next up, what else would I need? I might need one for my skeleton sound effect. If my player collides with my skeleton, does my skeleton want to make a sound effect? So I'll go with skeleton underscore sound effect. I'll set that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. I'll give the file path of my sound effect. The file path is going to be game item followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, followed by 2 more forward slashes, my skeleton sound effect. Okay, and then I might need a sound effect for if my player wins a match. So I'll go with win underscore screen underscore sound effect. This is going to be sound effect that's going to be playing if my win screen is open. And guys, I just closed my... Okay guys, I just closed my screen by mistake, my bad. Calculate file path. File path is going to be pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my... Let's see. My win screen sound effect. Or my game 1 sound effect. Is it called game 1? There we go, game 1 sound effect. And then I'd need one for my game lost as well. So I'll go with lose underscore screen underscore sound effect. Also that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. My file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my game lost sound effect. Okay, and the next one honestly is optional. I might need a sound effect for my mission as well that says mission, collect 10 gold coins. Let me go ahead and add that. I'll go with mission underscore 1 underscore sound effect. Also that equal to pygame.mixer.capitalize sound. My sound effects file path is going to be game items followed by 2 forward slashes followed by sfx, 2 more forward slashes, my mission 1 sound effect. Okay, perfect. Alright, what else would I need? Let me just scale my sound effects now because I think this is all that I need. Okay, let me go ahead and copy my drinking sound effect. I'll paste my drinking sound effect dot be set underscore volume function. The volume is going to be 0.2. Let me add that for my skeleton sound effect as well. So skeleton sound effect dot set underscore volume. My volume is going to be 0.2. then let me go ahead and add it for my windscreen sound effect as well. So my windscreen sound effect dot set underscore volume. My volume will be 0.2. Then I'll go with my loose screen sound effect. Let me copy that, paste it. My loose screen sound effect dot set underscore volume. My volume is going to be 0.2. Lastly, my mission 1 sound effect. I'll set my mission 1 sound effect here. Dot set underscore volume function. My volume will be 0.2. Alright, and now I might add channels for my windscreen sound effect, loose screen sound effect, and mission 1 sound effect, because I don't want my colliding sound effect or any other background sound to be playing once when my windscreen sound effect is playing, or when my loose screen sound effect is playing, or when my mission sound effect is playing. So let's create channels. To create channels, I could go with pygame.mixer.set num channel. Set underscore num underscore, was it called set num channel? There we go, set num channels. Okay, and the count, how many channels would I need? I need 3 channels, so let me go with 3. Okay, and then let me go ahead and create variable names for my channel. The first could be win underscore screen underscore channel. I'll set that equal to pygame dot capitalized channel. This is going to be my channel number, I don't know, 0, because Python does start counting from 0. Then I'll go with a loose underscore screen underscore channel. I'll set that equal to pygame dot capitalized channel. This is going to be my channel 1. Then I'll go with a win underscore screen underscore channel. I'll set that equal to pygame dot capitalized channel. This is going to be my channel 2. Okay, perfect. Win screen channel. Did I use this variable somewhere? Oh, I did. This could be my mission underscore 1 underscore channel. Okay, perfect. Now let me go under my my game objects class. I will add a section that says sounds. This is where I'm going to be adding if my sound is playing yet. The reason I am doing this is because if my sound is currently playing, if my sound effect is currently playing, I want to stop all the background noises. I could do that by the pygame.mixer.stop. It stops all background noises from all channels except the channel that you chose. So for sounds, I'll go with a win underscore sound. Actually, I'll go with an instance variable. So self.win underscore sound. I'll set that equal to false because my win sound hasn't been playing yet. I'll go with a self.lose underscore sound. I'll set that equal to false as well because my lose sound hasn't been playing yet. Lastly, I'll go with self dot mission underscore sound, or actually mission 1 underscore sound. I'll set that equal to false because my mission 1 sound hasn't been playing yet. Playing yet as well, guys. I cannot talk. Okay, and then now let me go ahead and add the lose sound effect if I lose and win sound effect if I win. So under my win/lose logic, after I blip my screen's text, I will check something. Let's see. Let's say if not my game object dot my win sound, if my win sound is currently playing, if that thing is currently set to true, which it is initially set to false, if that is set to true, I'm going to be doing something. I'm going to be going with a pygame.mixer.stop. This stops all the current noises that's going on in the background. I'll go with a comment that says stops all background noise sounds. Okay, that stops all background sounds. And then let me go ahead and add my channel. This is going to be my win channel, so my windscreen channel dot the play function, my sound effect. What is my sound effect going to be? It's going to be my windscreen sound effect. Okay, and then let me go ahead and set my game object dot my win sound to be equal to true. Alright, perfect. Let me do the same thing for my game lost as well. So if not game object dot game lose sound. Okay, if my lose sound is currently set to true, I'm going to do something. I'll go with my pygame.mixer.stop. This basically stops all my background noises. Let me just fix my typo. Mixer.stop. Maybe add a comment here as well that says stops all background noises or sounds. Okay, and then let me go ahead and add my sound. So I'll give my loose sound channel or loose screen channel dot the play function. I want to play my loose screen sound effect. Okay, and then let me set my game object dot my loose screen loose sound to be equal to true. Alright, if I would run the command right now, let me try winning first. I'll change that equal to 1. If I would run the command, okay, and I collect a coin.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
There we go, no background noises. Let's try losing now. I'm gonna be AFK. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be AFKing here and drinking some water real quick. Okay, that coin was kind of close to me.
You have fallen, warrior. You must try again and emerge victorious.
Guys, by the way, I am the voice actor and I feel like I dropped some water on my mic. Am I still audible? Okay, I think I'm audible. Alright, next up, what else would I need? Okay, now let me go ahead and freeze my screen because before my entire game starts, I do wanna say my player what their mission is. Although before the mission, let me go ahead and add my drinking potion sound effects as well. So, under my collision detection for coins, honestly, I might add it for my coins first. Once I collide with my coin, excuse me, guys, I'll go with my colliding coin sound effect or collecting coin sound effect dot the play function. Okay, I play that sound. And then for my collision detection for heal and buff potion, okay, if overlap, I'll go with my eating. Actually, not eating. This is going to be drinking. This is a buff potion. Drinking sound effect dot the play function. Let me do the same thing for my eating meat. There's my meals. This is going to be my meals collect. Okay, this is going to be my meal section. Let me copy that. Paste this here. This is my coins. Okay, this is going to be my eating meat. Sound effect dot the play function. Okay, perfect. If I would run the command, let me collect a coin.
Wave completed.
I forgot, guys. My bad. Let me change my win logic to be 10. There we go. Now if I run the command. I added colliding. Did I add the wrong sound effect? Oh yeah, I did. Collecting coins sound effect dot play. In my file path, did I load the correct sound effect for my load sound effect section? It's all the way up here. There we go. Collecting coin sound effect. Okay, this should be collecting coin. I loaded the wrong file path, guys. My bad. I am a little exhausted. Okay, this is going to be collecting coin sound effect. Oh, perfect. Now if I were to run the command. Okay, both the voices came together. Okay, the chiching is my coin. Did I load wrong sound effects for like almost everything? Like seriously? Okay, for my eating meat, I added colliding sound effect for that as well. This is going to be eating meat sound effect. There we go. Now if I run the command. Let me eat the meat. Okay, drink the potion. Collide. Okay. Okay, that's actually pretty good. And let me check if everything else is correct. Drinking, skeleton, okay, all is correct. Alright, now I want to make my skeleton like, I want my skeleton to like yell as well or like make a sound once my player collides with him. So, under my collision flag here of my skeleton collision, I'll add a if statement. If my game object dot my skeleton collision, if that is set to true, I'll go with my skeleton sound effect dot play. And this is basically it. If I would run the command. And guys, by the way, I am the voice actor, so. Okay, perfect. Honestly, let me go ahead and split my score on my screen as well, so like I can know how much score I already have. So maybe I'll go down here and create another variable for score underscore text. Actually, score text font. I'll set that equal to pygame dot lowercase font dot capitalized font. Okay, my font type is going to be none. Pygame's default font and the size is going to be 36. Let me fix my Pygame spelling. Okay, and then let me create another variable for my score underscore text. I'll set that equal to my score text font dot the render function. Okay, what do I want to render? I want to render my score text. I want to render a text. My text is going to be in an f string. This is going to be my score colon a pair of parentheses my game object dot my score instance variable inside of my game object. And then my italicus, if that's how you pronounce it, is going to be set to true. Lastly, my color is going to be in a tuple. This is going to be black. Okay, and then let me go ahead and blit my score text to my screen. I'll go with screen.blit. I want to blit my score text at the given dest of 10 and 10. So a bit more to the top left. Okay, there we go. If I collect a coin, it says 1, 10 coins to win. And guys, unfortunately, I don't have a colliding sound for dragon. I didn't have enough time to voice act that. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's see. What else would I need? Okay, I might add a mission as well. So like before my game starts, I want to play my mission 1 sound effect. Like it would say mission 1, collect 10 gold coins, and after that my game starts. Okay, let's do that then. Although before that, I might add my if statement for my press R to restart as well. So let's do that first actually. Okay, so I'll check if my event type is key down first. So if my event.type equals to pygame.key down, if any of my keys are pushed down, this is going to check that if any of my keys. But if it was key up, it checks if any of my keys are pushed down and released up. Although this thing checks all my keys, all my key downs, I want to look for a specific one. If my event.key, if the key that's pushed down is equal to pygame.k is R, if my R key is pressed, I want to reset my game. Now that's where my game class comes in use. These are all the variables that I want to reset for my game. So I could just go ahead and define a reset method here and then add a self.dunder in it. So everything gets back to its initial base. My score details, I start with 0 score, collision flags are false, game state is set to false, win sounds, lose sounds, everything is set to false. Okay, if that happens, I'll go with my game object.myReset method. That's basically it. That resets my game. Although there is a small catch here. If I run the command, if I lose a match, let me just change the win condition real quick so I win the match real quick. Okay, if I collect a coin, here.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Okay, so I won the match here. If I hit R, it does reset. Although if I hit R again, without me winning or losing, the match keeps resetting. To fix that, I could go here in my if statement. Right here. Okay, it says if my event.key is pygame. If my R key is pressed, I can add a and not game.game_lost. Okay, and my game.game_lost is set to false, or game.game_lost. Actually, if my game.game_lost is set to true, this might have to be and. Okay, if there's and actually returns if they're true. Let me just try this real quick. Okay, there we go. Now mind. Guys, if I did not, that would mess it up because basically my game.game_lost and game.game_1 are set to false. The not would have converted them to true. So if I hit R and I either lost the game or I won the game, I reset my game. Okay, perfect. Next up, let me go ahead and add a mission text. So for my mission text, I'll go ahead and I'll create a boolean variable called mission_active to check if my mission is currently active. And how do we spell active? There we go. I'll set that equal to false because I don't want a mission to currently be active. I will be playing, firstly, I will be playing my mission 1 sound effect. So let's see, let me add an if statement. If my game object dot my mission 1 sound, if my mission 1 sound from here, if not. If my mission 1 sound is set to true, I'm going to be going with my mission 1 sound. Okay, my mission 1 sound channel dot the play function. I want to play my mission 1 sound effect. Right there. Okay, I spelled play wrong. Okay, and then let me go ahead and set my game object dot my mission 1 sound to be equal to true. Okay, perfect. Maybe I add a space, that looks much better. Okay, under this I'll go ahead and add a my mission 1 active equals to false. Okay, now I'll add another if statement here for my events. Let's see which. Actually, I might add that if statement outside of my for loop because that's not like a Pygame event. Okay, for my event, let's see. Let me go with the if statement. If not mission active, okay, if my mission active is set to true, I'm going to do something. What am I going to do? Let's see. If my mission active is set to true, actually, if my mission active is set to false, I'm going to be blitting something on my screen. This is just technically, this is going to be like a complete blue screen because my screen is felt to be blue. None of my game loop is going to be played. Okay, I'll go with mission underscore text underscore font. I'll set that equal to pygame dot lowercase font dot capitalized font. Okay, my font type will be none. And my, let's see, my size is going to be something like 150. Okay. And then let me go ahead and create another variable called mission underscore text. I'll set that equal to my mission text font dot the render function. I'll render a text that's going to be something like mission 1. Okay, and then the entalysis, if that's how you pronounce it, is going to be set to true. The color is going to be black. Alright, perfect. And then let me blit my mission text on my screen. So I'll go with a screen.blit. I want to blit my mission text at the given depth of the center of my screen. So around... I could honestly go with my, let's see, my width variable divided by 2. This is going to be the center of my screen minus my mission text. Okay, dot get width divided by 2. Does that make any sense? Okay, I think this doesn't make any sense. I guess I'll just be hard coding it for now. Okay, honestly, I should like know this function. It's going to be real useful. Okay, that said, let me go ahead and do the... Okay, let me do something else. If mission active, I do this. Okay, if mission active is set to false, I do this. Currently, mission active is set to false. Okay, then let me go with another if statement. If not mission active... Actually, if mission active is set to false and not... my mission 1 sound channel dot the get underscore busy function. Basically what the get busy function does is if a music or if a sound effect is being played, it returns true. If it's not being played, it returns false. So the thing that I'm checking here is that if my mission text and my mission 1 channel, if my mission text is set to false and my mission 1 channel dot get busy is set to false as well, if both are set to false, I'll go with my mission 1. This is not going to be mission 1 text, this is going to be mission active. Okay, my mission active, this is also going to be mission active, is going to be equal to true. My game is going to begin. Okay. Alright. If mission active is false, actually this is going to be set to false, right? Okay guys, this is the part where I was struggling last stream. Let me go with an else. Okay. I can't go with an else, that wouldn't make any sense here. Alright, it's places where this goes then. I want to first play my sound. I mean, check if my sound is being played. Okay, mission is active. My mission 1 sound is done playing. I do that. I blit this on my screen. Okay. Alright, and then I go with an else. Okay, else my regular game loop. So I'll add a comment that says regular game loop. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and indent everything. Let me just delete these extra spaces. Okay, now let me indent all my game loop, including all my collisions and everything. inside of my else clause. Okay, everything until my clocks. Okay, now if I were to go up. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and run the command.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, it does say mission collect 10 gold coins. Wait, hold up, say again.
Mission, collect 10. Wave completed.
Okay.
Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Alright, my R is messed up. Hold up, let me see.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, my game is still being
Wave
played
complete.
after that. Alright, let's see where I messed up. Okay, so mission active is set to false. If not, mission 1 sound. Okay. And then mission 1 is set to true. Okay, that part's correct. And then I had another if statement. If mission active and not mission underscore channel dot get busy. If my mission active is set to false, and if my mission 1 channel is currently not busy, means nothing is being played, my mission 1 active equals true. Okay, let's see. Should this be inside of my if statement? I might check the reference code because I'm a little new to this part. Okay, let's see. Okay, I did it correct. It goes outside my loop. Okay, if not mission 1 sound dot get busy, mission 1 active. I see. Okay, so this is where I like messed up. This part didn't make sense. If not mission 1 dot get busy, I do that, I bled this. If I run the command,
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
okay, there we go. I see some progress. Let me get this above that. And guys, I don't take any credit for this question because I did check the reference right now. That said, for the day 100, I wouldn't check the reference. Okay, let's see.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, I see. I think I know what's wrong now. If not mission active is set to true. I don't know. I don't think that makes sense. That's gonna, yeah, that's gonna get it here. Okay, I see. Okay, this part didn't make sense. If mission active dot get busy. Okay, I don't think that makes sense.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, my mission 1 is still up here. Okay, let's go with if my mission 1 sound hasn't been played yet. Okay, if my mission is set to true. If not mission active, if my mission active is set to true and mission 1 sound dot get busy is set to false,
Wave
I spawned on a coin.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, what if I go with not? Okay, now if I run the command.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
If mission active.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, let me just remove that. Okay.
Wave completed. Sit back.
How's my wave completed?
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, after I collect 10 gold coins, I mean, this should be... My mission 1 sound should play with this on. Okay, it could be the positions like... first I bled this on my screen. And then I want the noise. If mission active, okay. If not mission 1 sound. Okay. Let's go with if mission active. If my mission active is currently set to false and not mission 1 sound, I play this. Okay, there we go. That's some progress. Mission. Okay, if mission is set to false, it is currently set to false and not game.mission1 active. I play that sound effect. I remove all background sound effects. Pygame.mixer.remove. I remove all background sound effects. Stop, my bad, guys. Okay, this still doesn't play the noise. Mission set to false. Mission 1 sound is currently playing there. Okay, if mission active is set to false, I blip this. That is the only thing I see here. Okay, it does blip it. Okay. If mission sound.get busy. Okay, let me just go with a bunch of control Z's. Actually, just remove this part.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay. Okay, why does I remember I went through the same exact problem last stream. It was just my positionings. Okay, let's try to focus. Okay, if my mission active is set to false, which it is currently set to false, I play this. When does my mission active be false? When my game hasn't started yet. Okay, if not, I change that to false. Would this help?
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay. I'm starting to see where I'm messing up. Okay, I changed that back to true. I want to blip this before my screen. Let me copy that. Paste it here. Now if I run the command.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, maybe I don't play the sound inside of my... Here. Let me copy that. Maybe delete the space from here. Okay, mission active is initially set to false. If not, mission 1 underscore channel dot get busy. If my mission 1 channel is currently not busy, mission active is set to true. If mission active is set to false, I do that. I blip the sound. Okay, let me copy that. Paste it here. I don't know else. There we go. Okay, now if I run the command.
Mission. Collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, where could I be messing up? I might take a look at the reference, I guess. Okay, so was it like this? Okay, mission active is set to false. Maybe not that. Okay, wait, was this my code? I forgot which was my one. Okay, okay, that's mine. Alright, so let's see. Okay, if not, mission 1 sound. Okay, I did that. If not, okay, mission 1 sound dot play. Okay, if not, mission 1 sound underscore channel dot get busy. If my channel isn't busy, or mission 1 sound equals true. If not mission active, I do that. Okay, I honestly did that. That part is like correct. Okay, so might add that here as well. I mean, honestly, this isn't even that necessary here. Okay, let's see. I'll go with mission 1. I forgot. This is going to be my mission sound. So game.mission sound. Mission 1 sound dot play. I want to play my mission 1 sound effect. Okay, what this basically means is this is going to be my channel. Mission 1 channel dot play mission 1 sound effect. My mission false is going to be set to true. Okay, I actually might add another if statement here that says, let's see. Guys, I honestly can't think. I might need to drink some water. Okay, let's see. I loaded that there. If not mission 1 sound, do that. It was pretty much that, right? Okay, I did that. Mission sound 2. Okay, I did that part. There. If not get busy, that's in it. Okay, practically I feel like I did everything correct. I did this. I did that. I could just add a game dot, let's see, what was it? Game dot mission 1 sound equals to true. Or I think it's, yeah, it's set to true.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, I'm doing something opposite. Let me remove the knot from there and add a knot here.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, that didn't do anything. I mean, I know the mistake I'm doing is pretty silly, but then I can't think what I'm doing wrong. Okay, so we created if not mission 1 sound. If my mission 1 sound is set to true, which it is currently set to false, I stop all background noises, go with mission 1 channel dot play. Okay, I play my mission 1 sound effect, game dot mission 1. Excuse me, guys. Okay, and then while is running, screen dot fill. Okay, did that. Game dot reset, play mission 1 sound. Okay, if my mission 1 channel dot get busy, if not mission 1 channel dot get busy, my mission 1 channel isn't busy yet, mission active equals true, my mission starts. If mission active, is it called as mission active? Okay, this is not. If not mission active, my mission hasn't been activated yet, or if my mission active is set to true, I blipped this. This doesn't make any sense though.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins. Wave complete.
Okay, I spawned above this thing coin.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, somehow that works. Let me check if I
Wave
are.
completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Okay, I gotta fix my R logic. Let me go with and not.
Mission, collect 10 gold
10
coins.
gold coins. Hold up.
Mission, collect 10
Collect
gold
10 gold
coins.
coins. Let me go ahead and pick a coin.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Oh, I see. Okay. Let me remove the knot from here. And now, might add a guard under my else clause for my regular game loop. Let me add an if statement. So, if my mission, if not mission active, my mission active is set to, whatchamacallit, if my mission active is set to true, and not game underscore lost, and I haven't lost a game yet, or game underscore one, if I haven't lost a game yet or won a game yet, I do everything inside my regular game loop. This is like a guard. Okay, let me paste this here. Okay, now indent everything inside this, inside my code. Okay, there we go. Tap to mass indent. Okay, now I found the command.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, it says if not game lost. What if I remove the not?
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Huh. Okay, if my mission active is set to true, if not mission active, I do that. Wait, hold up. It says if not mission active. If my mission active is set to true, I don't do this if my mission active is set to true. I do this if my mission active is set to false. Okay, my mission active is currently set to false. If my mission active is set to false, I do this. Okay, if my mission channel dot get busy, if not mission channel dot get busy means if no song is being played on my channel yet, I set my mission channel to be equal to true. Okay.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
How does not make sense here? Because if not basically me, oh, if not mission active, wait, hold up. Mission active is set to false. If my mission isn't currently active. Okay, I set that equal to Okay, let me run the command.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, it says collect 10 gold coins. My guard might be wrong here. And my game.game lost is set to false. Game.game 1 is set to false. Okay, if mission active.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Is my whole guard only wrong? Okay, I might go with a bunch of control Z's. There. Okay, if I run the command now.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
If I hit R. Okay, if I hit R right now, nothing happens. What if I hit R now?
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, R. Oh. Wait. Can I hit R like mid-match? Okay, once I collide, actually let me try colliding with a meat. What if I collide with a skeleton? Okay, whenever I collide with a skeleton and I hit R, my game resets. For a split second. Let's see. Okay, if event.key equals to if events key is R and I haven't lost a game yet or I haven't won a game yet, game.reset, I reset my game. Okay, mission 1 channel.play, I play the mission 1 sound. Mission 1 sound is set to true. Mission active is set to false.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
I collect 10 gold coins. Okay, now if I hit R, nothing happens. What if I lose? I mean, let me win.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Okay, if I hit R, nothing happens. Okay, my check code stops all background noises. Okay, pygame.mixer.stop play. If not, mission 1 sound channel.get busy. Did I go with channel? I went with channel. Let me just add a pygame stop. So I'll go with pygame .mixer.stop. This stops all background noises. Okay. I did that if not mission active. So if not mission active, I draw everything. Above that, if mission active is busy, I set that to true. I honestly feel like I did everything. Apparently, this mission active is set outside. Huh.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Okay, it works perfect here. If I hit R, it doesn't reset this. For that, okay, for that, I could get this outside. Let's see if that helps.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
Okay. mission active is false, mission active is true. If I go here, okay, I do set my mission active to be false. If not, mission sound, stop all background sound. Honestly, just for testing, I want to see what happens if I like copy everything from here until here and like paste this in my game loop section. I am going to be deleting it. I just want to check if it makes a difference, because both codes aren't like completely the same. It's like a little different. Okay, the channel, this is going to be mission 1 sound channel. That's going to be mission 1 sound channel. Okay, mission 1 channel. Okay, where's the last error? There. That's going to be mission 1 channel. Now if I run the command.
Mission, collect 10 gold coins. Wave completed. Mission, collect 10 gold
Okay,
coins.
this works. What did I do wrong here? Let's see. I did that part correct. If not, game.game. Okay, and then I did this. I added the if keys pygame.k, and then could it be because I didn't indent it? Wait, let me go with a bunch of control Z's. Okay, that actually might be the thing. Once I reset the game, okay, there was an if statement here. Oh my gosh, guys, I did not take credit for this question. I didn't do anything. Okay, I reset my game, and if my mission 1 active, actually no. What did I have to do here? I forgot. If my mission 1 sound, okay, actually not if. No way, I like already forgot what I did. Let me just check the reference again. Okay, if my sound is okay. And guys, yeah, I cannot currently think. That could be one reason. I might be giving excuses. Okay, if not my game dot mission 1 sound. Okay, if my mission 1 sound is currently being played, I'll go with mission 1 channel dot the play function. I want to play my mission 1 sound. Okay. Then I'll go with mission 1 sound. Actually, I'll go with game dot mission 1 sound. I'll set that equal to true. Okay, and then I'll go with my mission active to be false. Alright, now if I were to run the command,
Mission, collect 10 gold coins.
If I win,
Wave completed. Sit back and wait for further instructions, warrior.
okay, I do see like maybe a kind of improvement. Although, where did I do anything wrong now? Okay, game.mission 1. Okay, I stop all background noises. I feel like I did the same thing. Yeah, I just didn't stop background noises, but that I could like change anytime. Huh. Okay, let me actually stop the background noises. I'll go with pygame.mixer.stop. Okay, that wouldn't do anything though with it. I mean, it's just gonna stop all the background noises. Okay, I play my sound. My resets are correct. Reset the game if R key is pressed. And game.game lost is set to false. Game.game won is set to false. And not. Okay, if my event keys are and either my game.game lost is set to true or game.game won is set to. Oh, there wasn't an option of 1 here. It was a typo, guys. It was a typo. There we go. Now if I were to win the game.
Collect 10 gold coins.
Just check the time. Okay.
Wave completed. Mission, collect 10 gold
It was a
coins.
typo. If I hit R right now, nothing happens. Okay, perfect. I mean, honestly, I don't take credit for this part. I need to work a lot. Like, if I have some time after my college studies is done, I will be working more on this section. That aside, I actually might end the stream because I do have an exam soon. I gotta study for that. Okay, before I end the stream though, let me go here real quick. Let me get Sensei out. Okay, there we go. Let me get Sensei here. Okay, let me just delete all this stuff because, okay. Let me say something. I'll be like, Sensei, I'm actually planning to end the stream right now. ... Is there anything that you want to say to the viewers? Okay, let's see. Yes, Chad, remember this. What you saw today wasn't just coding, it was war. Vic fought bugs, logic traps, and his own impatience. He bled frustration, but he didn't quit. That's the difference between the wannabes and the ones who actually built something worth. Okay, guys, I did not take credit for this question. I did check the reference. If he keeps showing up, this game will grow, and one day you'll be able to say, I was there when he started. So don't just clap for him, pressure him, make sure he grinds. The dragon isn't defeated yet. Vivek, sign off with strength. Don't give them a weak goodbye, okay? Give them a promise to return. Want me to craft it? Okay, I guess let's give a real goodbye. That's Sensei expects. Let me go to my main camera. Alrighty, guys, that's honestly basically it for the stream. Am I audible? Okay, I should have done more and I should have practiced some more about the freezing game logic off stream, but I was a little busy doing my college stuff. That aside, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe. Like helps with my algorithm, sharing makes you smile, and subscribing is like a cherry on top. And guys, I did start multi-streaming on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube at the same time. Honestly, I didn't stream Twitch today because I wanted to see is my videos quality being bad because I'm multi-streaming on like 5 different places at the same time. Although you guys could follow me on Twitch and Kick if you guys haven't followed me yet, and if you guys enjoy my streams, and subscribe to me on YouTube if you guys haven't subscribed to me on YouTube yet. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. And make sure to join the Discord as well. And well, I'll catch you guys